Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome back to the What's Good podcast. Today we have a very special guest indeed. We have Jack, Street Panna. Let's go.
We're out here. Thank you.
I was going to put your name in between Street Panna, but that would sound so bad,
Street
wouldn't it?
Jack Panna.
No, like, yeah, Street Jack Panna. It just makes no sense.
Well, I like the idea. Thank you for keeping it.
Thanks.
Normal.
So, as a very quick rundown,
yes.
Who are you?
So yeah, Jack Street, Jack Downer Panna. Basically, I'm a Panna world champion, which is 1v1 football.
Jeez.
It's all about street football. I've been doing that for the last 9 years now. And I started doing YouTube a couple of years ago, just with a friend, just because we thought we might as well start documenting it, trying to grow the community.
Yeah.
And since then, just been training every day. Hadn't really missed a day for 9 years of training.
Wow. Did you train today then?
I did. Yeah, I've already trained. I've trained twice.
Tried to catch him out.
You got there, didn't you?
However, I had a big injury in the summer, which did cause me to take some time out. However, now we're back stronger than ever and trying to maximise it and get some more titles.
You may have actually seen him in a Sidemen video at some point.
Did sneak in.
We did a calorie battle.
Yeah.
I was on the team where we were trying to burn calories. The other team were eating calories.
Yeah.
And on the walk back, we were working out at Stratford, and we were all knackered. And then as we were walking back, he was training.
Yeah.
Well, he was training before we left. We saw you. And then as we were coming back, you were still training.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, do you want to play?" And I was like, normally I say no because I don't want to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? Fuck it, we're filming a YouTube video. Let's go. So he brings out these two little goals like this big
It has to be
into the street.
Ready for the challenge.
We're
Yeah.
literally on a pavement.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's this
It's a proper
wide.
Yeah.
weird pavement as well, wobbly.
And he nutmegs me within 4 seconds.
Yeah.
I wasn't there, was I?
No.
No.
But
But
me,
Come on, you'd have
Toby,
remembered
and
if you were.
No, but that's what I'm saying. My memory of this moment is so vivid. Either because you've told me the story many, many times, or, well, probably that and I watched the video.
I was going to say, maybe you watched the video.
Maybe I did. Maybe it stuck with me. But wasn't that where everyone was calling you trash?
I don't think so.
No, I'm pretty sure. If anything,
He's a world champion.
No, I know that. But
everyone
I'm pretty
actually
sure.
messaged me saying Simon banned you. You banned
Okay.
you. You tackled me.
I
It went
didn't.
through.
Yeah, I counted it as a panna.
Yeah.
It wouldn't normally
And I was
count.
like, yeah, we'll give it to him.
Yeah.
I got about a million DMs like, I thought you were the best, man. Simon's really good, but he got you there. And I'm like, yeah, it's fun. And he's like, nah, man, that's not cool. I was like, oh.
That's true.
'Cause I
So
counted
actually,
it,
I
but-
came
Yeah.
off worse.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, he tried to panna me. I just kicked it, and it somehow went through, but it was a tackle, so it doesn't count.
But you were actually very hard to nutmeg. That was the thing.
After the first one,
After the first one, I was
can
like,
we actually? Do we have the? Can we get the video
you
up?
must put it in.
We've
It was
got-
difficult, man, because then you're like, I'm going to glue my heels together. And I was thinking, okay, this is... Whoa.
So I know loads about Panna, but for those who don't out
You got
there,
that really quick.
for those who don't know about it, what are the rules? So you get a point for a goal, obviously.
So essentially, it's basically the boxing of football. It's 1v1.
Yeah.
You're in a cage, normally an arena.
Yeah.
It's a 3-minute match. Most goals wins at the end. However, if you nutmeg the opponent, instant knockout.
Oh, knockout.
Yeah, knockout. So
Oh, it's not even a point.
No, literally, our match would have been 3 seconds done.
Yeah, like carry on. Here we go.
Oh, so we
look.
spoke about it on the podcast. That's why I
Look, here we go. Look how quick this is.
Okay.
Go.
Started.
1, 2,
3.
3, done. It was done. I'm already lost.
So that would have
That's
been
crazy.
it.
That's just like elimination.
Yeah, that's. So
Well, it's because normally if you play a tournament, they're not going to be like me and.
No.
However,
Yeah.
it is intense
Ooh.
because it's
Bro, it's ridiculous.
when it's the end of the match and there's about 30 seconds left, all the nutmegs happen because whoever's winning on goals really controls it.
Right.
The other person has to tackle then.
Right.
And that's when it gets it's really fun. And there's a lot of yeah, I mean,
But it's just like I was refusing to be nutmegged at this point just because
Yeah.
that was
Like
it.
that
That was when
it
everyone was
went
like,
through.
Okay.
I counted it.
Who you with? Ethan.
let them know.
I was with Ethan and Toby.
Ethan and Toby.
Yeah, so because I had seen
I had to put a disclaimer up saying tackles don't normally count. You know what?
We'll allow it.
well, I had seen your logo loads before, like on
Oh, that's
Insta and
cool.
stuff like that.
Yes.
So that's when. Well, that's
Good-
why.
good
That's why I think
Good
you put the mini minute approved because
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
seen it all over Instagram and everything,
Oh,
and I'd
mate,
seen like
that's
loads
cool.
of clips, but yeah, we'd never met until then.
No, it's true. Because I never really, when I was younger, I didn't watch many YouTube videos. I watched, we were discussing, I used to watch the FIFA funnies, like the edits.
Oh yeah.
And
the
then
Gold Cup as well.
the
no,
most
not
ran-
mine. KSI.
Oh, okay.
Not
And
mine.
then I watched you and Seon Garnier, and I watched that video a couple of times. And I was thinking, man, that's pretty sick, you know, because Seon was the guy right now.
Yeah.
Like, why is he over? And at first I was thinking, because everyone used to say, I'm sick. And I was, you know, Seon did him.
Yeah.
And then I met Seon, and I was like, oh shit. Like, you know
who Seon Garnier is?
When you first meet a Panna player, it's different.
You ever see that video? I'll go for the most viral one. Probably
London.
I was going to go, there's one where he's dressed as Spider-Man and that makes
or the
people,
old man.
Or the
He's
old man.
old man on a Pepsi advert. Rocked up to a game. And
Actually, that one.
That's him.
Okay.
And he like pulls down people's pants and nutmegs.
Oh, yeah.
Just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got not a vivid memory of that one, but you know,
He's got
there.
dreads. He's
okay.
cool. But I remember watching that and I was thinking, it was one of the first things I'd seen with him and some other people.
Yeah.
And I went through and watched his videos and I was like, he's insane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's quite a while. This is quite a while ago, right?
This is old.
He's
yeah.
OG, man.
Yeah. I remember this in like the infancy of YouTube. Well, not YouTube, but I was a young whippersnapper back then. You know. Did you know? Fun fact. You'll know this because it's in the chat. That next year's year 7s at school are going to be younger than KSI's Road to Division 1.
Oh,
you
literally just talking about.
Wow. Well, why don't we just not record a podcast then?
Sorry. If you weren't right. No,
I'm joking.
No, see. But Panna since Seon has really blown up. I think when I started, it was about 3 years before that, properly that moment. So it was about 2014, 2015. And about 5 people in the UK knew the word Panna.
Yeah.
So there's some people that had competed. And then now, pretty much everyone under 16 knows it. So it's kind of, it's what we've been trying to do. My whole aim was to pioneer it.
That's good.
Because in football, I didn't, I wasn't good enough to have a career in 11-a-side. And I got injured, dropped out. But I still loved football. And then street football gives you that career, especially with social media. And I think that's a big message is like, all it was training every day. And with that, you can literally make a career. Because if you'd said, Seon Garnier can have a career in Panna, no way. He was busting on the streets of Paris. Or Jack, they'd be like, no, he's not even that good. I was trash at skills. And I just practiced. And so it's exciting because I never depended on a team or anyone else to play. I just had a ball. And it was quite
well, I guess like obviously in football you've got like the freestyle football, Ronaldinho type players. But at the end of the day, like obviously you don't need to do those skills to necessarily like win a match. Obviously it's nice to watch, but ultimately it doesn't necessarily always matter. Yeah, so having Panna, I guess, is a good way to actually make it.
It bridges
part of
the
game.
gap between the fun skills and something that you could actually try and apply that, and that's quite exciting. So I'm actually working with some footballers at the moment where I coach them 1-to-1, kind of secretly, and we're testing if that will add to their game because I'm convinced it will.
Yeah.
Can you train Wan-Bissaka?
No, I was with Yannick Bolasie recently.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, not Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka just like.
Oh, can I train him? Did you say?
Can you train him?
Was that what you said?
Yeah. Because my guy falls over.
You're watching. Hit me up.
He falls over just running.
It definitely
he needs it.
He's just turned off.
He tries to slow a tackle even when he's on the ball. But we're testing because I think if I had the physicality and the football smarts and actually a left foot, that Panna would be super helpful. So that's the experiment that's going on right now, and I think it's got a place. Paul Pogba, for example, is amazing at Panna. Jan Vertonghen is weirdly good at street football. Yeah, he's weirdly good.
Someone,
pretty much anyone that's been at Ajax.
Right.
Okay.
Nice.
And then lots of Brazilian players. Obviously, Brazilians have the skills already.
Yeah,
but
that's just like ingrained into them.
They were born 5-star skills.
That's true.
But it's with Yannick Bolasie at the moment we're training, and he's obviously his technical ability is a joke. But he picks up the Panna skills like this, and it's amazing to see. So I'm excited to see where they can go with it.
So you've won the world championship.
Yeah. I won that.
How many? I don't know. You're a world champion. Is it a world championship? Is that what it is?
Yeah. So there's 3 different world titles in Panna. There's Super Bowl and there's Panna House and there's Panna Knockout. So each organised by someone else. No one's won all 3. So
as in like in a year or ever?
And ever. So I'm wanted last year. They're all between August and September. I wanted to win them all. That was when I got injured, so I haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
However, that's my aim for this next year. I think, basically one's in Prague, one's in Denmark, and then the final one's in Holland. And you kind of go through each year, and it's a good battle. But it is intense because everywhere you go, you've got the favourites. I went out once in the quarterfinals to the best Danish player, and the commentator, who was kind of cheering the crowd and so on was his best mate, and the referee was his flatmate.
Right. Okay.
Which I found out after, you know, and you're like, yeah, I wasn't gonna win that, was I? Like, it's a bit tough.
Yeah. To be fair, that's not corrupt.
Yeah,
I've watched one of you that was, I think it was a final, might have been a semi-final.
Yeah.
That you lost.
Did I slide tackle the guy at the end?
You might have done.
Yeah, that was this corrupt one.
It was the one. Like, you're watching
I'd had enough. I scored like 2, and they were like, no goal, no goal.
Yeah, like I was
Slide
watching it,
tackle.
I was just thinking every time, I'm like, I don't really understand the rules that much, but I can understand that what they're doing is like,
yeah. There was, for example, we were back to back. Next goal wins. So they say go, you turn around. I turn around, the ball comes up, I just kick it in.
yeah.
Goal. No goal. Why? You have to fist bump before you start. No, you don't. What? What the hell? And ever since then, it's been a rule that after that you have to fist bump and then play.
But it's actually, is it a rule?
Never a rule before.
Yeah, because it's like in MMA, right? That you're supposed to touch gloves, but you don't have to.
No, exactly.
Yeah, it's sportsmanship maybe, but you're just not like.
But we'd already been playing for 4 minutes.
So the ball's between your backs.
Yeah.
So you stand back to back with the ball in between you.
Oh.
So how are you going to drop it,
fly and
turn
fist
around?
bump?
Yeah.
In the time that I would have tried to fist bump him, he'd have probably just tackled me and scored.
Yeah.
It's like a drop ball in football.
What you got to do is you got to pretend you're trying to fist bump, but like instead of like
Some people. Oh, I thought you were going to say some people. They go for a fist bump as the person goes to do it. They just dribble around them and score.
Right.
Yeah. It's like boxers.
Yeah.
You know how like sometimes they put their gloves out and they just,
Just hit them.
yeah.
Mad.
I'm not sure if you know this person or if you're like fatal enemies, so sorry for bringing it up. When we went to watch England and someone in the Euros, we met someone there. Someone was doing it in the street.
Yes. Jamie.
London Movements.
Yeah.
No, he's sick.
Yeah. Are you guys friends or?
Yeah, of
Okay,
course.
cool. I wasn't sure if it was like a rivalry.
No, he's been doing it for a long time, and he's a really interesting, like as a player, he's sick because he started with futsal.
Oh, okay.
And he was like really good. Played, I think he was like at the under-21s for England futsal when he was like 15. And then he came into street football and did Panna. Mine was kind of the opposite. I learned 1v1 and ever since I've been trying to learn 5v5 and 11-side to a good level. And his style is, there's lots of different styles in Panna, and his is really techie, like London player.
Okay,
I think it's really cool to look at.
It's in the name.
Yeah, it's got to be. He's got the movements as well.
So how does he compare to you at Panna?
At Panna,
Just Panna.
It's
like if you're going for like,
man,
but if you're like going for like world champion.
Yeah, so I'm a competitive Panna player.
Yeah.
I'm trying to really push the limits on the skills that are possible, the ways you can nutmeg people. Whereas Jamie he's spreading the sport to masses, you know, and he's making it fun. And he's also showing with his futsal videos that he's a top level futsal player. So in a competition, I think he'd do really well.
Yeah.
Because he's got these great futsal skills, he can score the goals, and he's basically a sign called, I call it venom.
Right.
When there's some people, they look all fancy. It's like a big cobra, but it bites you, and you're just kind of like, oh, that didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But there's some people, they have the timing, and if it's kind of like venomous. If they hit you, you'll lose.
Right.
Jamie's got that. You know, he's a pretty deadly Panna player. But for me, it's like about a couple of years ago, I developed my left foot as good as my right in Panna and things like this. And it's like they're the differences between the competitive Panna player and a very good Panna player. That does it for fun, you know.
Are there loads of rounds in the tournament? Or is it like
there is. So that video that you saw when I went out in quarters or semis, I'd played. I started at 10 in the morning, and that was at about 8:30 at night.
Mad.
So, and I'm meant to be a seeded player, you know, like I've consistently finished high.
Yeah.
And I got a text. Well, no, the day before I was talking to the organizer, and he said, "Yeah, just come through at 2. It'll be your knockout rounds. You'll start then." Awesome. And I went with Billy because he was playing in the qualifiers. They put me in the pre-qualifiers.
Oh God.
And I was like, and if I was the first match of the day, and if I hadn't gone, I wouldn't have been in it.
All right. So if you didn't go early,
I just went to support my friend, and then they were like, Jack down our first match, and I was like, oh, I just jumped in. And I was like, all right, let's go. But it was, I mean, it's street football, so it's not the best organised. However, it's really progressing. So
if you trained me for a month, do you think I could get past the first round?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. If I trained you for it, 100%, I'll put a wager on it. There's good players in.
Can I take that wager and lose?
Damn it. No, I genuinely think if you took it seriously, a month you could. Because it's lots of people, they don't train for the end goal. You know, they train, I want to learn this and that. Well, that's not going to help you, nor is this.
You got to learn how to win, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can teach you how to win. Like, dead easy.
Yeah, you might look like Bambi, but you could win.
Yeah.
Why?
Don't
now I'm really self-conscious. Now I'm really self-conscious. I'll never play Panna again.
I know.
It's going so well.
Did you know that in last year have spoke to about 5 to 10 football clubs?
Oh yeah,
I did.
Yep. Did you?
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I
So
did.
why?
Just to get a special card.
Oh wow, you didn't know that?
Yeah.
Nice one. Yeah. No, so yeah, Pokemon are sponsoring. They sponsor England, the England football team.
Okay.
So when you're watching England, you'll see like Pokemon banners and stuff.
That's cool.
And they were giving out. There's these 4 Pokemon cards that are like on the ball. So like Eevee on the ball, right?
Okay.
And there's a Pikachu one. And to get Pikachu, you had to win a futsal tournament. To be in the running to get one, so you're not guaranteed to get one. And it was
so
really.
You had to join a futsal team and win it.
Yeah, I didn't have to join it, but I was just speaking to the admins of the Twitter account saying, "Can I get this card?" But then COVID hit and cancelled all the tournaments, so the cards never came out.
No.
They're out now. They finally came out. They're like £1,000 plus. They're really expensive.
That's such a cool idea.
But during the time, I just couldn't get one. But there's a picture of obviously it's mainly like kids football clubs, kids futsal like this. Look, it's trying to get kids into football, and it's kind of cool.
That's a well good idea.
Yeah, the ball is a Pokeball, which is kind of sick.
Hey.
But there's a picture of the kids promoting the card, that Pikachu card right there, and they've got like the sticker book, progress card in their hands like this, and then on the floor there's like 12 just Pikachu cards. It's like 12 grand just on the floor, like unsleeved.
Mop it up, man.
Yeah, like getting damaged. Look, it's so funny because obviously they must not care about the card, but you got all these collectors like, oh my god, pick the card up, please.
For the kids.
Yeah. What would you say is the difference between? I mean, obviously, it might be a silly question, but for those listening who may not know, what would you say is the difference between, say, futsal and Panna, and then street football?
Yeah.
Panna,
So the easiest way to distinguish is Panna's 1v1. It's just you versus the opposition. Other forms of street football, there's 2v2 tournaments. I've actually got the World Champs coming up end of Feb in LA.
Nice.
So we're going to try and win that.
Yep.
And then 3v3 is also kind of under street football, which is really intense. Essentially made in Holland. That was how FIFA Street stuff came about.
You get a Panna and it's like a point or anything?
If you keep possession, sometimes it's a point, but it has to be the same player. So it's a lot more physical, because most of the time you can just get nutmegged, hold them off, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And then futsal's 5v5 indoors.
Yeah.
The levels are insane. Obviously, they've got the World Cup of this, FIFA Player of the Year. And street football as a whole will just be anything on the side. Anything that's on the courts. And involves some of the, there's lots of good street football games and things like that you just play. We used to have a game that was called Yofi's game, which was just shooting into the goal. And if you miss, you have to go and goal, and then you got the rebounds. And for me, that's all street football.
Yeah.
Any games, wall ball, curvy. Brilliant games. So that I'd say they're the main categories. But I was always interested in Panna because specifically it was me against them, and if I lose, it's my fault.
Yeah.
If I win, I earn it. Whereas in the Lebanon side, I was always conflicted. Sometimes I played bad, but we won, and I was thinking, ooh. Or like I played really well, but we didn't get a result. And I was thinking, that's tough. Whereas I like the way that you can dictate it with the hours you put in.
Yeah.
So it's a good one to try and control and
then
improve in.
Freestyle football.
Yes.
Is that more like a talent show type thing where you just do skills?
In a way, it's more like, I'd say it's more like breakdance.
Yeah.
You got the judges, so normally there's 3 rounds. You'll come in, and 1v1. You'll reply to each other, which is pretty cool. So you'll see what skills they've got in the first round, and you'll choose what to do against them, and they'll reply and try and level it up.
Do they do that cringe thing that they do in like American street dance films where they point? I always hate that. Where they're like,
some do.
Jack Jones on TikTok does that, doesn't he?
And the worst one's
hate that. It's so cringe.
When you finish your go?
Yeah. You do what you do, and you're like,
you have to do that as well at the end.
Pass it on.
Oh, it's awful. I hate it.
The worst one's when they're really confident they've just won, and they look at them and they go, ooh, and like do the death thing, like.
God, I couldn't do that.
You're like, whoa, I've seen a guy do that and then lose, and you're like, oh, that's poor. That is poor. But it's freestyle. It's insanely creative, but man, I cannot do it. I cannot.
Well, I guess you have to be like, say in Panna, if you don't do a skill necessarily to 100% of its, I guess, quality, you can still beat the person or nutmeg them.
True.
Whereas in you know,
it's the pressure of it as well. Like,
has to be perfect.
If I'm under pressure doing kick-ups, they'll go wonky. I don't know how to do backflips, and it's
well, it's
one
like,
attempt.
You know when a big team ever, like, you know when like Barcelona ever sign players and Real Madrid, they always do that presentation, don't they? So and they just can't. You got Dembele there, like one of the best young players in the world. He can't do a kick-up.
And Vinicius Junior, and he's like, "You're both 5-star skills, man." Like, it's so poor.
You just see him like run after the ball. It's so bad.
Around that night.
It's awful, man.
Yeah, it's tough, but. I think that's how I'd be if I got signed as well.
Oh yeah.
Under pressure, it's scary. That's why I was glad when I nutmegged you, because it wasn't me that called it. It was my friend Bill. He said, Simon Blair. And I was thinking, every time before one where you have to pan him, you're like,
you don't,
I hope you just do it quickly. And it's always the ones where you're thinking, this one's for the camera. I'll try and do something cool.
Yeah.
You'll never hit it. Like, you just have to play. So.
Yeah.
So you didn't really ever play 11. You played a bit of 11-a-side.
I started late, so I did play. I started when I was 10, so it's pretty late for football terms.
That's so crazy, isn't it? Though, like that is late for football terms, but in real life, it's like 10 years old.
Yeah, 10 years old. You're just a kid. But
I'm still trying to brush my teeth at 10.
To be fair, I probably still was.
Yeah.
But my dad was. My dad was in the boxing
the first
gym.
10 years.
Right.
Mouthwash only.
Tough start, man. Tough start.
My dad was always in the boxing gym training, and I remember I got into the office. I was on the computer. I saw Ronaldinho doing elastico, and I was like, that was sick. And there was a flat football in the office, and I went outside, did that, and I said to Dad, look, I want to join a football team, and that was it. It was just because I've been able to do an elastico. I was like, I'm gonna go use this. And at lunch, I was trying it. Then after that, I went to a football team that all my mates were at, and they basically shunned me out and said, "Nah, you're too bad." I was like, okay. Went to the worst team. They were called Hugen Vikings. We lost every game of the season, apart from the final, which we drew, which was just monumental. I think it was probably like 0-0, but it was unreal. And then went to the team that kicked me out. After a season there, I was one of the best players. And then with the school, we were getting to the National Cup for like semis and stuff like this. And then I was getting where I am in South East Kent. It's just the end, there's nothing there. But I was having Tottenham, Arsenal, West Ham, Charlton were looking at me, which was a big deal. Whereas in London, you kind of get looked at quite a bit. So I was feeling like, I might be able to do something here. Yeah. Got really into it, and then I was talking to Charlton quite a bit, and it was the final game of the season, managers and friends versus the kids. Yeah. And we'd won the cup, we'd won the league, we won the Kent Cup with the school, so it was all sick. And then the manager's son, I think he got whiff of the fact that I could be going. He just clamped me and started stamping on my foot, and I was out for 5 months, and then all talks dissolved. That was over summer.
That's crazy, actually.
Yeah, so I thought I was gonna, and that's why I fell out 11-a-side, because everyone was like, all the people we've been talking to, they're like, oh no, we're not gonna look at you anymore, and we're like, what? Like, that was it.
Yeah, I bet there's a lot of that in. Well, if you go to like regular like Sunday league games, especially on like younger age, you've always got like the parents that are really, really full on. Oh, so properly. I can only imagine what the parents are like in like
when you're playing against
semi-pro and also pro. Yeah, they must just literally want nothing but the best for their kid. They'll go to any means to make sure that their kid gets into the team.
The attention is all that they want for the kids. They want that one opportunity. There's a scout here, but they're not looking at my son. What? And it's an intense environment. But when I found street football, it was a mad one. I didn't expect to. I was literally I was between my mum's and dad's house growing up, and one day I was at my mum's and free was a Thursday, and she goes to me, Jack, there's a football club on at the town hall. The town hall. Like, who plays football at the town hall? Yeah. I'm about 14, 15, thinking I'm cool. Nah, Mum, I'm not going to that. A couple of weeks go by, I forget. She goes, oh, come walk the dog with me. Yeah, walking the dog. And out of nowhere, boom, she hands me these football boots and a £1 coin. So we did. She go in, you're playing football. I was like, I go in. There's 3 kids. The kid in the year below that's really good at football. That was kind of annoying. Yeah. I was thinking, this kid who's in my year, just ADHD, hyper as hell. I was like, that's annoying as well. And then this younger kid, I thought, fine. Then I look over, there's this massive black guy doing skills. And like, it was just like shockingly good skills. I was like, what is that? It was like a dance, and he was just warming up, and he looks at me and he's like, oh, all right, man. And I was like, no, not all right, man. What was that? Like, I'm not all right.
Skills or like freestyle
so
skills.
His name's Yofi, and he was doing, he'd learned shooting from a guy in Holland. And he was just doing this club, and it was us 4. That was it, who'd rocked up. And I'm listening intently, thinking, this is insane. I'm going to go and destroy all my mates. Like, this is cool. Yeah. And I'm learning. I nutmegged the little kid from the school. He told me, yes.
Unlucky.
The mate that had ADHD, he ate it as well. And now it's the kid in the year below. His name's James. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get James. Like, this is going to be sick. He ruined me.
Oh, wow.
Ruined me. And I said, James, play me again.
Yeah.
And that makes me again. I'm thinking, I'm waiting at the end. And taking it so seriously. I say to Yofi, he's just packed up. I say, bro, what can I do to like learn in between next week? I need to come back. He said, I don't know, there's some. I said, no, you need to give me something. He said, type in the Street Kings on YouTube. So these are the old school street footballers from Holland.
Yeah.
And I watched all their videos. I was dragging my mates after school, come play. And anyway, week later, I got James. Since I trained with the same intensity. James never went again, sorry, man. But and that was life. The thing about it was because no one played, it was all about involving others. So I got one of my friends, we competed in, literally 6 months after I started, we competed in Denmark, got to the finals of the 2v2 Adidas tournament.
Wow.
My other friend, when I won the world champs, Billy, my other mate, I literally met him at a park. The ball rolled towards me whilst I was eating a meal deal. He was like, "Oh, give me the ball back." I was like, didn't like his tone. I said, "Come get it." Nutmegged him. He's like, "You got to teach me."
That's funny.
Then 6 years later, we're in the finals of the Panna Super Bowl Panna World Champs together, which was pretty sick. It's all just about teaching and passing it on. Yeah, I did. Yeah. I didn't really want to nutmeg him when I did, which was quite weird. I was thinking, look, either I just win nicely, or I do a crazy panna. And then the ball kind of just comes. I see his legs. I just gone, I nutmegged him. I was like, that was such a lame panna, I should have done a really cool one because I nutmeg Phil a lot,
Yeah.
But so that's kind of in the progression, and I think it's just really exciting to see how street football's still growing and people want to talk about it and they want to try it. And some of the talent I see, like 10-year-old kids doing the skills I'm doing now.
Yeah. That's good.
Like, this is sick. Yeah. Like when they're going to push it so much further. And I feel like right now the fashion in street football and the branding and the kind of whole culture is so raw that it's like skateboarding before it went mainstream. Yeah, okay. And I think it's really the time to see it develop, and I feel like it's got the watchability to a 3-minute game. Like no one watched 90.
Exactly.
It's hard to watch 90 minutes when you're that young.
No, it is.
Especially when you're 10 and you can't brush your teeth.
True, man. It was a struggle. I used to have a season ticket for Forest, and for a while I did, and then there's always like dads who bring their kids to watch the games, and even if your kid is like super into football, it's hard to watch. 90 minutes, you know, especially when it's not like it's not like it is on TV.
It's true.
You don't see the highlights, you don't see the angles, you just sat there.
I used to get taken to Craven Cottage when I was younger. I'm not gonna lie, I did love it, but there were points where you're kind of like, can the match just end? Because I want to try and meet the players. I want the autograph at the end. They'll say.
Well, I enjoyed it as well when I was young, but I guess to do like a whole season, it's tough, isn't it? Like you either like it straight away and then you fall in love with it, which is really good, or you just hate it.
And it's understanding why they're doing it. Like I used to just be amazed. Wow, they're really fast. Like, or saying, he kicked that hard. But I didn't know why he was a good player. I just thought, he's good because my dad said it.
Yeah, my dad used to take my brother, who's not into football now. And you know where back in the day before they had the screens, they used to have just the little scoreboard. So it was like animated, right? When they scored, there used to be like a firework and a bloke that did this. And my brother used to just watch that screen the entire game, waiting to score, just so you can see the little animation.
That was the best bit.
He literally loved it. Also, you don't realize as you were telling that story, when I was younger, I went to like train with a football club, not like a proper one, like just a regular team. And I feel like my dad lied to me.
Love it.
He lied. Yeah, no, because I was just
said it was Man United.
No, it was like Alfreton something. So I went there, and I remember training with everyone. I knew some of the players from school. I was training with them, and then the next training session, they were gone, and my dad told me that that team left. They just disbanded, went to something else, and the B team is now the A team, say for example. And I was like, that's weird. What are the odds of when I went for training, the next session, they just disbanded the club. But now I think what happened was I wasn't good enough to get into the A team. So I was in the B team, and my dad just told me that. So Dad, if you're watching, which I know you are, let me know if you just lied to me. But I guess it's fair enough. But
wait, you've only just realised that?
Well, I was
in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. While he was talking, I was like, you know what? I remember I went training for a club, and funnily enough, everyone quit. The day I went.
They all quit and they moved town.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But it was annoying though, because there was one good player who was unreal. He was like the son or the nephew of the manager.
The damn son,
it was literally the son of my manager was the best player.
That's why they make the club for the son.
It's probably true. Yeah, I mean he never passed, but to be fair to him, he was so good. So it's like you didn't really need to. Yeah. But it really went to my head in, right? Because all the other people, they would always just talk about World of Warcraft and stuff like that, or maybe it was RuneScape.
There's no way.
You sure it was the B team?
Mate, sure it wasn't. I was like in training doing drills, and they were just chatting about RuneScape or something like. I was like, well, not the time now. Let's play football. We got bad. Like 15-0 every game.
Man.
Literally we used to go to church, and my mate was in goal, and every day my granddad was like,
pray for less goals.
Yeah, he's like, is your back sore? how many goals did you pick out? And we were always like 15.
Oh,
mental.
God. That is intense.
yeah. But
impressive.
As we're talking about 11-a-side, the charity match you played in.
Yes.
I feel like we need to.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, it'd be good to talk about the load. Yeah, there it is.
So this, I don't know if you've ever seen this. You've heard about it, but I don't know if you've seen it.
Oh, no.
So he's the one in 98?
Yeah, 98.
Oh, 98. You see him there,
yeah?
So the keeper clatters him.
Yeah, and that's me looking beautifully tanned in summer, alas. Essentially, I wasn't going to play in this. So I wasn't going to, it was Content Ballers, and it's, it was for a charity.
Yeah.
And my mate Bill, he wanted to play in it. He's got some followers on TikTok. Rabona, follow it. And anyway, he wanted to play in it. I thought, I'll play because Bill was doing it, and it'll be fun to play with him. He's in goal, and I'll go along. So I go along, and they were all taking it so seriously. And I was thinking, this is mad.
Everyone takes charity matches seriously.
Yeah.
But the level was concerning insofar as I was like, I don't know if they actually know how to play, some of them. And I'm thinking, this is dangerous? Is it dangerous? But anyway, so I said to them, they wanted me in the middle. I said, no, I'm going to play on the left wing. I'm going left wing, and I'm just going to chill. And I literally said to Bill, I said, half time, after that, I'll score loads, because they'll be tired. They won't be able to clamp me or anything.
Yeah.
And anyway, we're playing, and I didn't even want the ball. I was running around a lot, so I was tired, but I was just maybe just because I had no fitness. Anyway, we're going, and I nutmegged a couple of people, rainbow flicked a couple of people, and then someone shoots, and the keeper has it, and he kind of falls on it and fumbles it. So I just kick it in, and then he's super angry,
right?
Like hitting the floor, and I'm thinking, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but like equally, like why would you not? It was straight after that long ball came, and I was running, as you saw, and basically he's out of his box. So I'm like, I'm safe, what's he going to do? Head it? And I was looking at his body position, and I thought he was leaning back. So I think he's going to go back. He's in no man's land. He can't do anything. So, and then the defender comes across me, and I was so convinced that I was getting this ball. I was like, yeah, I've got this. As he goes, I realised the keeper's right there, and I try and dodge it. I should have just kind of firmed it and just tried to go through him. But I was like, oh, get out of the way. And he obviously thought differently and thought, oh, I'm going to jump and put my knee through his guts, which he did. And at that moment, I think he pretended to punch, but he didn't touch anything. Ironically, they got the free kick as well, by the way.
Right.
Which is a bit mad.
Yeah.
However, at that point, so I guess rule 101 from this is if you're in a charity game, it's a charity game. Like, I kind of learned, okay, I shouldn't have gone for it. I was just wholeheartedly convinced, like a normal 11-side player, I've never been against a goalie in that position. Yeah. They don't get there. So I was like, I'll just, he's going to step back. But I think the first aim is if you're in a charity match or any match, just think about it. Like, because if I'd weighed it up, I'd have been like, oh, I'm against a goalie that's not too experienced. What am I risking? Like, I should have just left it. However, at that point, have you ever been winded?
Yeah.
When it goes out your lungs, and you're like, what is that?
It's horrible.
Yeah. And it lasts about, 5 seconds or something. I had that for 45 seconds around, I'd say. Yeah. So as soon as it happened, I was like, boom. And I was there, and it just went, kind of goes through your whole body. I imagine it's like when you get hit hard or something. Boom. And I was like, okay, I'll breathe now. No, I'm not breathing. And I was thinking, I'm still not breathing. And I couldn't breathe. And I was like, okay. So in the video, I get the goalie, I hold his hand. And that wasn't because I particularly liked him or anything. That was because I was convinced that right then I was dying, and I didn't want to die alone. I was wholeheartedly, but it wasn't like, oh no, I'm dying scared. It was just like, I'm dying. And it was kind of weird, like, your body it kind of just tells you, it knows this is it. And then I was waiting, and everyone's saying things, but it's kind of just drowning out. And then I breathed. I was like, result. Like, and everyone's telling me, you're winded, you're fine, you'll be fine, you can play. And I'm thinking, I can't even stand. Like, I genuinely was like crippled. And after a couple of minutes, I stand up, and they're trying to get me to sit and watch the match. And I was thinking, no, I'm not. I said, can you call an ambulance? They're like, oh, you don't need an ambulance, you're winded. I've been winded, man. Like, and I'm hobbling around the side of the pitch, and we got an ambulance called, but they explained it, and they were like, oh, it's not serious enough. So obviously, he's winded, or he's cracked a rib or something. at this point, I waited in the changing rooms on my own for about 15 minutes. I think they locked the changing rooms and I was in it. I was like, what the hell?
God,
got that on. Like, it's just like unnecessary stress. I'm messaging my girlfriend on WhatsApp. Oh, can they unlock the changing rooms? Because I'm in there. I had about 1 litre of blood in my abdomen at this point. And 1 litre is like, you know, if you get a cut and it looks bloody, like 1 litre, you'll just be drenched.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
An ambulance would never deny you. Then I got in a taxi. I book a taxi, go to close hospital. £130 it cost me. I was thinking, that's a bit steep, but all right. So we go, and this is a 45-minute journey, and it's country roads. So it's like this. And I'm just there like, oh, this is really painful. And I'm thinking, do I tell him to slow down, or do I tell him to speed up?
Yeah.
You know? And I'm thinking, speed up. And I said, but on the corners, just be nice. And I'm with my girlfriend. And have you ever seen Vikings?
Bits.
Right. Watch Vikings. There's a guy called Ragnar. He's a legend. And I kid you not, the day before, me and my girlfriend were watching it, and he got stabbed in his liver with a sword.
Yeah.
Right, and I'm thinking, what? Like, that's mad. And then there's still a war going on, and he basically says to the lads, he says, look, I'm going to chill back at the camp, and I'll be back in a couple of days, and I'll come and help fight.
Mm-hmm.
And he does. And I was thinking, how did he just survive? You know, he got stabbed in the liver. And I said to my girlfriend in the car, I look at her, I said, and I've always thought I'm pretty hardy. Like, I've always thought I'm stronger than I look, or I'm more tenacious than people would predict, and I feel I've always thought it, and I was there, and I said to her, I said, like, how did Vikings do it? Like, because I've just been kneed. It doesn't look that bad, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look that bad. You know, he's a big guy. He's put all his weight, but it doesn't look that bad. So I was thinking, I'm not a wuss, but like, what? You know, I'm all right. And I said, I don't know how Vikings did it. And then, whenever something bad happens, I call my mum. Just, you know, like, I'll call mum. So, for example, once I was frying a steak, and I had AirPods in, and the oil must have been like bouncing. Yeah. So I put the steak in, and it flopped like this, and it went on my face. Yeah. And I was like, oh my god, like, and it was scarring. I called mum like, yo, what should I do? Like, my face is melting. And wash it underwater. All right. I didn't even get to eat the steak. Yeah. But good. Once I got jumped in a club, and you know, next thing you know, I wake up and my mum's in my house cooking a roast dinner. I'm thinking, this is, you know. So, but this one is way more serious than a burnt face or you know, the club incident. But I thought, I'll call her just because, you know, I've got this. Yeah, I'll call her. I'm fine, but I'll call her. Yeah. So I call mum. She's a nurse, by the way. And I'm saying, I got hit, but I'm all right. And I'm thinking, and mum's just saying, that's fine, just keep talking. I'm thinking, what? And we're talking, and normally me and mum, we catch up, we have like a 2-minute phone call, and that's it, and we don't talk too much. And when mum's talking, and I was thinking, that's a bit weird, but hey, it's really nice to catch her, so all right, I like this. Little did I know, she knew I had an internal injury, didn't want me to go to sleep because she was convinced I'd die, which is quite worrying. So at that point, she's contacted my sister who drives. She said, look, we've got to get up to the hospital, and they've got this whole mission going on, and I'm just there thinking, oh yeah, it's nice to see mum. Yeah. I get into the A&E, and my pet hate now is queue jumping. Obviously, everyone hates it, but I can't stand it. I was in Argos the other day. Someone queue jumped me. I was gonna, like, it was gonna be a war. Yeah. Because I was there, and I'd walked in, and I was like, oh, hey, they're gonna have to fill out this form. Yeah, that's all right. And this lady jumps in front of me. Oh, excuse me, I've been here ages. Okay, don't really care. Yeah. She's like, and she says to the lady, she says, I've got a bruise from my COVID jab. And I'm there like, what the hell? I'm dying. Like, I'm actually dying. And she says something like, no, you're not. And I was like, I'm there with my girlfriend. I said, what do I even do? She said, sit down. I'll handle it. I sit down, and I passed out. I didn't quite know that I had, and I'm here like, what the hell was going on? I kid you not, the lady's going, he's acting. He didn't pass out. I watched him. And I don't know where I am. I said, I don't know what you're on about. Leave off. And I almost warned this lady in A&E. Next thing you know, basically, they thought I'd cracked a rib. I was conscious at the time saying no. Yeah. And they then eventually gave me scans after 2 hours. And they'd found that I had about 1.5 litres of blood in my abdomen. My liver had completely ruptured. And then I got into the operating. Essentially, I was diagnosed, I think it was a grade 4 or 5 laceration. So a grade 2, it's like if you got a liver and you stabbed it, grade 2. That's pretty bad, you've been stabbed. Grade 3, you shot it. So you've shot the liver and it's, you know, bleeding through. Yeah. They explained my one, the doctor said, if you take your liver, you laid it on concrete and you hit it with a hammer. He said, that's what happened to your liver. Your liver exploded. So And there's a part in your liver, this is a little biology lesson for you lot, called, basically you got the main artery, 1 millimeter away, 1 millimeter is where my caudate lobe avulsed, which means it just exited. And that, the first time, I'll get onto that in a second. There's basically, if wherever that thing landed, a millimeter difference, depth, length, wherever, instantly dead. A millimeter to the right on impact, dead. So it was literally, we're talking a millimeter here.
That's crazy.
The reason they started speeding up my process was when I was in A&E is I'd asked for painkillers and they'd given me, there we go. Yeah. Can you zoom on that? No?
Command plus.
Control plus. Control plus.
You see that? Yeah. So on the back, you'll see, on the back of this, you'd see the caudate lobe.
Yeah,
but that thin, where that, I don't know what they call ligament thing.
Yeah.
That's where all the veins are. And it was just on the inside back of that is where it all kicked off.
Yeah.
And I'd asked for painkillers. And as you kind of do, painkillers.
Yeah.
And they'd given me morphine, but I didn't know what it was. And after 30 minutes, I said to them, look, can I have some actual painkillers? Like, none of this ibuprofen. They're like, that's morphine. And I was like, no, seriously, like, you're taking a piss. Like, I'm finished here. And they were like, no. And that's when they sped it up. They were like, this guy's in pain.
Yeah.
Then I had this, they actually put me on this blood pressure thing, which is for cracked ribs, where they kind of tilt you, because I was going yellow. And as they tilted me, 1.5 liters of blood was going whoop, whoop, which is obviously grim. And I was firm in it. And then my girlfriend said she thought I broke her hand from squeezing it too hard. But then, which I feel bad, sorry, is. But then when one of the last things I remember was I'm there and I see her, and she looked well sad. And I still didn't think, this is how amazing your body is, like the brain is like not stressing.
Yeah.
I still didn't think I was in danger that bad. I was like, I'm safe now. And I said to her, look, I'm strong. You're all right. I'll catch you in a bit. I love you loads. And then she left. And then I got wheeled out to the operating room, apparently. That was like that moment.
Mad.
Next thing you know, I kind of wake up. I'm in this lift. It's a big lift. And I'm in the bed. And there's all these surgeons. And they're like proper kitted out, sweating as well. And I said, yo, is this a bed lift? They were like, yeah. I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, it's a big lift. That's what I was thinking. Then we're running down the halls. It's like I'm on a TV show. They're like, out the way, emergency. And I'm thinking, oh shit, that's me. Like, I'm the emergency. Ooh. Anyway,
I'm on TV.
Yeah. I was thinking, I made it. But anyway, we're going through. I'm thinking, next thing, they say to me, we're going to give you anesthetic. You're going to go to sleep. Is that okay? I said, yeah. They said, we're going to work on you. Is that, well, yeah, please.
Yeah.
And then I was saying, look, I remember the guy was being a bit slow. I said, big man, do your job, please. Like, and I remember saying that, and I was thinking, why did I say that? I'm going to connote it to the morphine. Because I
don't want to anger the doctor.
Yeah. But then the final thing was, I've got this mask on. They said, just breathe, and you'll go to sleep. And they counted 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I'm thinking, and they're looking at each other. I think 3, 2, 1. Just relax. And I'm like, I'm relaxed. And then one of the guys says, that's enough to take out a horse. But my body was that amped up that it wouldn't sleep.
Mad.
I woke up, consciously 10 days later. 10 days later, many things had happened. I think in that time I should have died twice.
Mad.
One of them was because the first time they'd ever successfully basically they had to minimize bleeding. It was still bleeding. They cut me open. I got this beautiful scar. Technically, there's 168, including the staple scars there.
That's crazy.
And that, I didn't see that for a long time. I was well confused when I first saw it. I was like, wait, what?
What's this?
Yeah, like, but when I woke up, I was intubated, which means you have this tube doing your lungs. I didn't know what was going on. I was on morphine, ketamine, opium, which is a mad night out.
Just started to make a Harry joke. But
However, that's what I was. And I'd woke up. Obviously, I didn't know where I was. It turns out I'd been transferred from where I was in Surrey, which is amazing. People that saved my life. They'd put this packaging in, which is like paper to absorb the blood, and they wanted to airlift me to London. However, they thought the vibrations, I'd die of the helicopter. I was like, So they put me in a convoy, ambulance, and my family had followed behind it. And my sister has this like really, I think it's really cool. It's like a Fiesta, which is kind of like a van. Anyway, my mum's in the back of this with all the paint and stuff. Like, and I don't know, it just seems like this crazy scene where she's basically in the boot. And I was like, it's pretty heroic. We're all getting there. follow it, and they sleep in the van because there was nowhere to go because it was late now at this point. And I've been transferred to the best liver specialist pretty much in the world. The only reason I got that was because the surgeon that was operating on me was his student, and he was like, "Look, this is so bad, we need you." Okay, so they've summoned him, and I went to King's Uni, and this is King's Hospital, and I know that these big guys, you know, don't get me wrong, they work, but they're working theoretically a lot. You know, they're doing their thesis and their documents. To have them in sight on a Saturday night when it's raining, waiting for me at A&E to greet me in, that's insane. And he was there waiting for me in the rain, and I went in, and his whole aim was to reattach my caudate lobe and make sure the bleeding was minimized. First time they reattached caudate lobe successfully, I'm pretty sure it was 2017.
Oh, man.
So it's a big procedure.
Yeah.
Mad.
Then it turns out in transit, my caudate lobe reattached itself. So it just like, I don't know, they put it close, and then it just was like, whoop, and joined. Sick. And then since then, my girlfriend still calls me a Viking because I healed my own liver, you know? So I thought that was pretty gang. Nice. So Ragnar, he's my guy, and Vikings are the way forward. But then after that point, there was obviously, I'd been induced in a coma. There was a lot that went on in regards to that, and then recovery. And I went in at 75 kg, came out at 59 because I couldn't eat for 2 weeks, couldn't walk, couldn't move. Took 3 people to move me in the bed. And when you're in there, like, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on. I was in ICU for, I think it was like 10 days, 14 days. And you're literally just, you have someone on you. That NHS are amazing. They're always there. But when you're a bit better, so there was a turning point when I was a bit healthier. I came off the intubation. I was convinced I was going to die on that. Oh, my lungs filled up with fluid. At one point, I was conscious. And I was doing this for my inhaler. And I was saying, look, I need an inhaler. And I couldn't be able to talk anymore. And well, I can't talk now apparently, but I couldn't talk anymore. And I wanted this inhaler, and it turns out that my lungs were filling with fluid, maybe from my gallbladder, because they didn't check that because they thought, well, if we don't sort of liver, he's dead anyway. So it turns out there's some other things going on, and I think I had an infection, and it filled 500 mils from each lung was then taken out. But I was on the verge of going on what is it called? The final form of life support, basically. And there's not a high success rate if you're on that. And they put the wires in, they put 4 inside my groin. They go into basically this, it looks like a spot on my neck. It's a scar where that went directly to my heart.
Right.
And it was going to operate every part of my body for me. And I was awake, and then this starts happening. My family were there. They thought I was getting better. Now I'm on the brink of basically dying because that might not have worked.
Yeah.
And they punched in between my ribs, you see there and there, just to drain it. And then I survived that, but they put me into another coma. And then I've got this crazy dream from between these comas. Basically, when you're in a coma, you can think. And there's a lot going on there. I'll explain in a bit maybe more. But
yeah, I was going to ask what that was like.
Yeah, but the maddest thing about ICU was when you're getting better, you lose some of the attention. Because obviously everyone else is dying. Yeah. And I basically sat there for 3 days without anything, no water, nothing. And you're just watching, like, I'm there watching this guy. I don't know him. But, like, I feel like we're trying to survive this together. And then you just hear this cough, 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 cough. They close the curtain, open the curtain, the guy's gone.
Mad.
And you're like, shit. Like, that was the truth of it.
Yeah.
And I think, I had 15 pints of blood given to me as well. And that's one thing. For every time you donate blood, you can save 8 people's lives.
Wow.
Which is insane. So imagine, like, you know, they say this gets however many views. Say only got 10,000, but then like 1% of that, I don't know why did I pick that number? 1%. Say, I don't care, 100 people from this go and give blood. Yeah. 800 people saved. Yeah. And if they do that recurring twice a year, 1,600, and then it's not only saving the one person who is dying, but it saves the whole family, right?
Yeah.
It's the whole network. So if you can give blood, I respect that a lot. But yeah. I want to hear you guys talk. I don't want to steal your show, man. Like,
well, I have not had anything like that happen to me, so I can't contribute. No, that's obviously crazy. What's weird, not weird, but you know, the injury didn't necessarily look like it was something crazy. Like if you saw that in a real football game, like a professional game, you'd think,
Yeah. So that's a big point, and that's one of the things that I really try and advocate is just listen to your body. Like I trained every day for 9 years before that point. And I knew I was in tune with myself. When my knees are a bit off, I won't do that. So I knew immediately, like in my gut, well, that it was bad. And I listened to it and I stuck it out. And there was lots of people said, no, just stay. No, just do this. No, just do that. No, you're fine. You're fine. You have to listen to it and be confident in it.
So you said this the other day that you have never, or you have drunk. Have you drunk?
Yeah.
You've drunk, but you don't drink.
No, I don't. No, I don't drink.
You never smoked.
Never smoked.
And like work out every day.
Yeah, work out every day, sleep. Basically, the doctor said to me, "Wake up," and I was trying to. When you're in this crazy state, you've missed 2 weeks. It was the Euros. I was meant to have really busy time. I was getting all my income in then. I was meant to go to the World Champs that I've been training every day for. And now I'm here. I'm thinking, what even is this place? Like, you don't even know where it's at. So I was trying to get the doctor to explain to me, like, what has happened. He basically said to me, Jack, anyone else on the pitch would be dead. I've never seen something like this on the pitch. And I said, yeah, well, you don't know that Ronaldo wasn't playing on the pitch. And he said, Ronaldo would be dead.
Mad.
And I said, then why am I alive? And he said, I can't give you for a reason, why. It's just basically I shouldn't be alive. It was the fact that I was alive proves I'm the only one. He said it was kind of his logic, and he said, well, if you drunk, you'd be dead. If you smoked, you'd be dead. I have asthma, but I came in with 100% blood oxygen levels. If I didn't, I'd be dead. If I didn't train, dead. If I wasn't as resilient, and that's kind of why ever since there's 2 reasons why, but I've been training really hard since. Partly because I feel like your body is your armor, and if I was a bit stronger, like my dad, he would have got hit and he'd have probably just got up, So I was thinking, I'm gonna get stronger. But then also, there was such a fight when you were in there. Like it was in regards to the coma mainly, but there was such this choosing to live that I'd fought so hard that since I got out of it, we'd say life's a little numb around some things because you're thinking, I know why I'm living. 100% it was for my family, and I saw it. You ever seen Inception? Or Shutter Island?
But I don't understand it.
Okay, that's fair. Basically, any Leonardo DiCaprio film where he's got his wife that he really loves, and there's something going on there. I had this sort of, at one point I was actually trying to sleep, but I had this thing where when I'd go to sleep, I'd wake up and I've pulled out all the wires and I was trying to escape, all these crazy things. So I didn't really want to sleep, but one thing that I did manage to kind of relax to was this, my brain had gone into this image, which I couldn't control. And it was this hill and my girlfriend was on it and I was looking at it and then my family came over and I couldn't get there. And I was thinking, man, I need to. And the hill kind of looked like it was in Italy. So now I'm going to make sure that we all go to Italy and sit on this random hill. But that was dead true. And I clearly lived for that. And ever since, you're thinking, man, that was when I really, although I was dying, that was when I was really living, because I was really fighting. So since then I'm training with the same, I like that. You know what I mean? I like that you're trying to do something meaningful, you're trying to fight for something, and I'm carrying that on with what I go for. But yeah, it was a life-changing experience.
Nah, for sure.
When you're in a coma, you had like, I don't know what the right word is, not dreams.
Yes.
But you were thinking of something.
So this...
And it kept repeating.
Yeah. So this is... For me, you're going to like this.
I was going to say, this is one for you.
You're going to like this.
I'm actually going to pee. What?
Is it?
I heard this the other day, but
Okay. I'm not sure what to expect now.
So basically, what's the best way to put it? I didn't know what this was. I was in... last memory is I'd been put asleep.
Yeah.
I haven't been awake yet. So it's in the coma. It could be the first coma that I was induced into. It could be the second one.
Yeah.
Either way, it feels like it's about 3 days, right? And the best way to kind of explain this is, okay, if you're looking ahead, you're looking at the cameras, and you've just got to look at it, and you can't move your head, right? Imagine you can't move your head. After about 10 seconds, you're going to start thinking, oh yeah, what am I going to have for dinner later? Or you're going to go somewhere else. Imagine you couldn't change your thoughts. You are right on it. And that is all it is. And you can't even dictate what you want to think about. There's a camera there. And I had this. I was in a hospital bed, and I was looking forwards, and I couldn't change anything. But I knew it wasn't real. I knew that I wasn't actually in this hospital bed. And I was saying to myself, okay, let's think of something else. I couldn't. And I remember at the point in my head, Vikings came into my head, the series, and I was thinking, let's think of Vikings. And I couldn't. And it wasn't even the dialogue. It was just, you're there now. And then the nurse comes up to me, and basically when you've got a intubation, you've got a tube that runs your lungs, and they've got to remove the fluid. So they'll put down this other tube, and they squeeze it, and it fills your lungs, and you cough up all the crap that's in, and it's horrible. And basically, in real life, I was super scared of this. and because I didn't know what it was, and I'd bite the tube, which raised the pressure and meant that it like really pulled out a lot, which was a horrible experience. And we had to keep doing it because the test results weren't right, or I don't know, I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
The nurse would come up to me in this kind of dream, and she would go, "Oh, Jack, you're awake. It's time for your cough." All right. I didn't quite know what it was. Puts it in. I do this cough. I choke up and I die. Right, and I died. And I'm there, and I vividly just died. And it's gone black, and it killed. It like killed my whole lung. It was like boom, 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 right into my gut, and then it went black. And then it's kind of like I get this kind of regained consciousness, and I open my eyes, and she's there doing the little thing. Turns around, "Oh, Jack, you're awake." And I'm like, "Okay, time for a cough." She gives me a cough. And I'm like, "Where?" And I die, and I died again. Right. And then the third time, I'm waking up, and I'm thinking, no way. So I've got my eyes closed. I open them. She's there. I close them. She won't interfere from sleep. It gives me time to try and think. Yeah. But I can't leave this environment, and there's not much I can think about. So I'm just here, closing it. And how did she do? I think she pinched my cheekbone, and she went, "Jack, Jack." And I was, that's so annoying. I looked at her, cough, boom, boom, dead. And I've died. I've literally, it kills. And that's the thing that I can't get across is like, it hurt. Yeah. Then, again, and I'm thinking, okay, look, I'm just going to hide from her. I'm going to hide from her again. She's going to pinch my face. That doesn't hurt as much as dying. So she's pinching it. I think, fine. Then she was sneaky, man, because she's pinching my arm. She's saying, "Jack, Jack," shaking me. I think, I can understand this. Then she goes, boom. My eyes were looking at her because she opened it. And she goes, boom, cough, dead. Then I was like, when she pulls my eyelid down and she puts the light in it, I'll just look up. And she doesn't know then. It kind of worked. She's like, "Jack, I know you're awake. And I'm looking up. I was like, "I got you. I'm not dying now." And then this was kind of when, later I'm going to mention, this was a turning point for me, because I was like, you know what? I'm fed up of this, because she was going, "Jack, Jack," belittling me, like moving my head. And I'm thinking, look, I can handle this because I just want to rest. But I thought, no. And I remember, boom, moved her, pushed her over there, and I hopped out the bed. And as I'm running, I'm like this, and boom, 50 Cent comes up.
Oh, man. Okay.
This is no word of like 50 Cent.
This is why you're like,
yeah, I was wondering. I was like, yeah,
50 Cent appears in this coma dream. And
what a guy, by the way.
Yeah, he's
there for everyone.
And he says to me, "Hustle or die, Jack."
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? No, dead ass. And I'm thinking, oh, so it's good that I moved this lady, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. So then I go, all right, 50. And then... and then...
That's what his mates call him.
Yeah. We're on that level.
Yeah.
And then she's gone. And the doctor, as soon as I'm running past her to the door, a doctor comes from this side door and he gets me.
Was it Dr. Dre?
I wish. He would have let me go, but he gets me with a cough and I die. I'm thinking, all right, but I know what I'm meant to do here. I'm meant to get out. So I'm waiting. She's looking over there. I hop out. I know the doctor's going to come in. I just hold that door, open this door. It's like level 2's done. I'm sick. And then I'm thinking, where the hell am I? And then I hear them. Oh, he's gone. And they're chasing me. And it's like a platform game, right? And I can kind of at some point see myself running and they're chasing. And I've gone past, I would, maybe I get to level 4 and then I die. And then I've got to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I die. And I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I got to 8. Die. Then I forget it. And 6. And I'm dying. Like, that's the thing that is like, it's not like a game. It's like it's actually hurting. And basically, I did this for about 45 minutes of just pure dying. And I maybe got to like 20. And I'm thinking, where do I go from here, man? Like, what is this? Like, and this is when I was laying there. And they're stabbing my face again and pulling my eyes. And I'm thinking, I'm just gonna lay. I'm just gonna deal with it. Like, what's she gonna do that hurts more than me actually done? And then she's getting really frantic at me. Jack. Okay, come on. I got really competitive. I thought, I'm gonna beat this game. I don't even know what it is, but I'm gonna beat it. Yeah. I move her, get out, ding, 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 ding. I'm getting to like level 30, and then 50 comes up to me again. Actually, no, I've jumped the gun. I get to about level 30, and then my mum's at the bed. I'm thinking, sick, mum's there. And she's looking at me like this. I mean, what is that? Oh, we're escaping. Yes. So I'm escaping. And then I couldn't get past level 30 because there was like this cashier desk and I had to go under it. But they just went like that and all Jack. And basically my mum distracted them and I'd go. And then we were getting to like level 40. This is when basically mum goes, "Oh, doctor, he's escaping." And I'm like, what? We got snaked. And then I'm thinking, I'm going to try again. And I died again, literally. And I died again and again. And I'm trying to get mum past to level me. Now 50 appears. He says to me, I mean, it's so weird. I don't know why. He says to me, Jack, everyone will snake you. And I was like, what?
That's a hard lesson from 50, you know.
And I said to him, like, okay, fine, you know, carrying on. But he comes in, he's gone. 50, come back, man. Like,
come back,
guide
man.
me.
Yeah, please.
But anyway, everyone will snake you, hustle or die. Okay, let's go. So we're going, and mum's there. I said, oh, yo, mum, can you get me a drink from the vending machine? I've gone. Now I'm getting to like level 51, 52. I get to about 70. But every increment, I'm dying. And sometimes, and it's also kind of slyly dreaming, so I'm trying to remember it. Anyway, about 3 hours have probably passed of just constant. And then I'm thinking, okay, when's it end? 50, 100? Like, I'm hoping it's level 100.
Thanks. That was a sneeze, by the way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a weird sneezer.
That's just impressive.
Everyone always thinks it's a cough.
You've been through all that, but I sneeze weird, so.
But I know what I'd rather. I got to my girlfriend then came, and I jumped some levels, and then I had to distract her. Yeah. And then my friend Redea came, and this was really random because your mum and girlfriend Redea, like, don't get me wrong, we're great friends, but super random. So we're there and we're trying to get through these levels. We get to about level 100, we're probably getting close to 150, and I had to snake him as well. And I got to level 150 and I completed it, right? And this is where 50 comes in with basically the whole of G unit. I'm at the top of the hospital. Come on. And they're on a chopper.
Yeah.
And they all just jump off.
They do that to you first sometimes.
And a flag came out of the top of the building, and I was like, I've done it. Like, sick. And then, well done. And then I wake up in a hospital bed. And I'm like, sorry, what?
Yeah.
So you literally won life as your prize.
well, no, because I'm not awake. I'm not awake yet. I'm asleep still.
Oh.
And I'm in a hospital bed.
Right.
And I'm like, geez. I did the whole game again, but it was slightly different. It was about becoming the world's best football player. And I had to escape hospital and become the world's best football player. And what was really annoying, the way they dictated it was if you there's a stand over a pitch in Barcelona, apparently. And if I got there, which I could just run from the hospital straight there. But if I sat in this, the first person to sit in the seat is declared the best footballer in the world. And whenever I got there, I'd sit there and the seats moved. And I'm like, oh, what? I thought I'd done it. And now someone else has got it. Then Redea came in again, and he's really good at football, and he trains really hard. And it's like, then he was against me. And I was like, oh, this is so long. Like, we had to keep... Eventually, I did win that game. 50 Cent did help out again.
He's good at football as well.
And mate, I bet he is. And he actually became World Player of the Year. But
wow,
he snaked you.
Yeah, true.
But he did. Everyone does. But then I woke up, and this was in real life.
Yeah.
And this was the memory that I had so vividly. But I was trying to explain it, and I couldn't for quite a while because I was intubated. I couldn't talk. And I had a board, and you can't write anything out. Like, I could barely move my hand. Yeah. Anyway, I came to it later, and it was I just got out of hospital. I'm in the car, and I'm 2-hour journey back, and I'm chatting to my girlfriend. I'm saying, like, trying to piece things together. I said, how long was I in a coma for? Because I literally said to her, I said, I had this dream, and it felt like it was about 3 days straight. So that's how long it all felt to complete it. 3 days of just pure looking, boredom, and dying. Constantly, like thousands of times. And I'd said it felt about 3 days, and she said, yeah, you're in it for 3 days.
Nice.
And I was like, what? Then I was telling it to her, and she's going, no. She's like, Jack, that's really weird. I said, why? She said, well, when they were really scared that they were going to lose you, the first thing they'd do was pinch your face, and they were calling your name. She said the second thing they were doing was looking at your eyes, seeing if you were responsive to the light. And they said they knew you were, but every time you were looking up. And I'm like, what? And I'd already told her this, and and then she goes, and the final thing, 50 Cent walked in. No, Jay. She said, hustle or die, and he left. But no, then on the day where I was really bad and they thought I was going to die, first person to visit was my mum. Second person to visit was my girlfriend. And third person to visit, the only day he visited, because it was the only day he could make, was Redea.
Man,
which is insane. So so there's a direct link there, and I'm convinced that if I'd stopped trying to overcome, if I wasn't as competitive, and there wasn't the things that I wanted to, my family were coming in, and I was thinking, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I was doing it for 50.
Yeah,
but
man.
Dead ass, like, if I had stopped and I just laid there and relaxed, I think in real life, that was when they were the most scared, and I'd have died.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then there's another example where my friend, who I'd met on the ward after I'd been moved from intensive care just to liver specialist ward, It was the first time I'd laughed since the accident, and basically when you're intubated, your voice goes. You can't really I had to spend 35 minutes on this weird machine just to try and regain my breathing afterwards because laughing sent it off. But man, it was worth it. So it's one of those things you're probably not meant to laugh at, but I think you're definitely allowed, and he'd like it. I was with this guy called Davey, and he's quite a big guy, and he's a Scottish accent, and I'm not going to try it, but I wish I could do it. And he's got
Scottish accent.
Hey, watch out for that train over there.
Davey, is that you? It's something from Braveheart. You'll take my
freedom, but you cannot take my health. Sorry, I can't do Scottish today.
Freedom.
Okay.
Yeah, Scottish is not my.
Carry on.
Sorry, it was worth a brief interlude. Davey was like, go on. I said, did you think of stuff when you're in a coma? And he was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I'm mad. He said, go on, you tell me yours first. And he's roasting me, saying, you thought you were in GTA, like, you're such a kid. And I'm thinking, I didn't even play GTA much, but I wish it was. However, and I said, go on, what was yours? And he'd been in a coma for 6 months.
Mad.
All right? And he says to me, he says, me, Jack, he said, I thought I was a vegetable. I said, what? He said, yeah, I thought I was a vegetable.
Oh,
I said, no, you're lying. And I was almost laughing because I was thinking, that's insane. But mine was insane, so fair. And I didn't. And I was thinking, all right, I'm going to hold it together for you, Davey. Here. I said, what were you doing? He said, well, I was on a market stand. And I'm like, he's big, muscly, like bearded man. You're on a market stand there? Yeah, and I was a vegetable. What happened? He said, well, when the doctors came over, I thought they were going to pick me and eat me. Like they were going to take him and eat him at home and cook him. And he was so scared that every time they come over, he went like this, I'd go, yeah. And he would hide. And he was hiding from him. Yeah. And I was like, okay. And he would hide and hide and hide. And basically what it meant was he was unresponsive when they were trying to talk to him. So in real life, he never came out of the coma until he was responsive. And I said to him, when did it change? He said, well, eventually I was so fed up that I just thought, well, you know what, eat me. And I started responding. I said, yeah, I'm here, like, come get me. And he woke up shortly after that, he says. And so that means all the science in the world, if the doctor had gone up to Davey and said, whilst he's in a coma, Davey, you're not a vegetable, you might have woken up. We're not going to eat you.
You're going to get all doctors going up to anyone in a coma.
And they're going to be acting like 50 Cent, hustle or die, hustle or die. But the final thing, as I'm sitting there, I say, go on, Davey. He says, what vegetable were you? Me, Jack, I was a courgette. He was, for 6 months of his life, he was a courgette. Like, for the first 2 weeks of the Euros, I was battling with 50 Cent. 3 days of those Euros, I was with 50 Cent, like, dead ass, and he was a courgette.
That's mad.
So, like, it's insane. That's kind of what I mean, though. Like, for those 3 days, I was fighting so much that when you come out of it, there was a point where I was awake and my drugs were lowering. And I was looking at the people around me who were kind of still intubated and asleep. And I was thinking, man, I was actually like weirdly jealous because I was like, they're doing it. Like, it wasn't like, it was basically because I felt like, well, I've gone through all this for what? I felt it was unfair. Yeah. And I was like, this is just like, I'm suffering here. I can't do anything. I'm not going to be able to do any, like the rest of my life, like, well, not the rest of my life, like the next however long, I'm not going to be able to walk. I can't do this. It's so unfair. And I was looking at them and I was like, they're just asleep. They don't have to deal with this. And but in truth, they were fighting. And I think that's what's kind of amazing about ICU is everyone there and they're all fighting. Staff are fighting, balancing. And after that, I was one of the first people to learn to walk on ICU. They said it would take me 6 weeks and I'd learn within like 3 days. Then what else was there? There was quite a few things that I got a lot of milestones out. I was doing the hill sprints within a month. I was playing football. Around then too.
Still.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
And then I think it was within the 6 weeks of walking. I was already doing Panna the same way pretty much before.
So this was like 2021 then, right?
Or was it was last summer, so during the Euros.
That's crazy, and even now you're back playing again.
Yeah, I did a pretty cool recap video. I think it was 4 months later. Yeah. And every skill in it was since. Okay. And like every one of them was a new skill that no one had done before.
Oh, mad.
Which I thought was quite good, so I was quite proud of that.
So that was 2021, and in 2022 you're going to hopefully win all 3 World Championships.
I'll win all 3.
That's mad.
And then but for me, that's since before the injury, I'd have been super stoked with that. But since for me, I feel like I deserve it in a way because I lived and died for this. Like if that's it, then why am I? What's the point of putting all my time into just free? I don't want to tell my kids, I won the Panna World. They'll be like, what's that, Dad? Like, do you know what I mean? Whereas when I was going through recovery, I was watching Muhammad Ali a lot. I watched McGregor and like his documentary, and then he fought Poirier, snapped his ankle. Yeah. And I was thinking, damn, like, and that was on the biggest stage and the stick he was getting. And then he was rehabbing when I was rehabbing. And I was seeing him train. I was thinking, this is so lit. Like, he can still come back from this. I can come back from this. But he's coming back to do something massive. And I'm coming back to win an underground tournament, which I'm so proud of. And my younger self is. But I wanted something bigger. So my dad, mad things. Like, I kind of feel unfair because I'm talking about me. But, like, my family, they had bigger challenges than me. They were watching me die. And they all wanted to swap places with me. And the thing with ICU that I can pass on is everyone will go there eventually. You'll either go there for yourself or for someone else. And I'm so lucky that I went for me because I could fight it. Whereas, maybe someone else wouldn't have survived it. So they had a much tougher time than me, I think. And I remember they were saying, lots of people were saying, you're going to need therapy. You've been in ICU for this long. You're going to need it. And I said, no, I'll be okay. Like, I knew at that point that I was fine, like mentally. Which I'm very lucky for. However, I said, yeah, I'll take it, but they never even gave it to me at the end. But I'm very pro therapy and talking about things. But the point was that there's a strength that you find, and lots of my family now, my mum she's a nurse, very hard for her to go back to work, but now she's like leveled up in a way. Like she finds a lot of things much easier, and my girlfriend's doing amazing things, and my dad is a big turning point because he was in China working when it happened. He'd been out there for 2 years, couldn't come back because of COVID, and he had to quit his job to come back to see me. So he quit his job, and we were there, and I remember when he walked in, I just had the intubation taken out, which is where you have to cough and remove this whole thing. Yeah. And I was convinced I was going to die, partly because I was scared of the nurse. But I ended up getting a different nurse to do it, which was really nice. His name was... I can't remember, it was a typical Greek name, but he was a proper ledge. And he obviously, because he's ledge, watches this podcast, so big up to you. However, he came in just after that from China. I hadn't seen him for ages, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. And he looked healthy, and I was like, yeah, that's sick. Yeah. And he used to be a boxer, so he was an unlicensed boxer. He was IBA, but he was world champion. And I remember, my screensaver, if I could actually find my phone, will be him. You see it? You see that? But that's when he won the world champs. Yeah, I was watching, and I'm so proud of that. And it's how cool is that his athletic career, I was there to witness it, and that's a night that we'll never forget. And I always thought I was training really hard so that when I win a Panna tournament, Dad could be there and I'd be proud. But it just wasn't the same. And then we started, because you got to try and move your core, which is really weird. Like, my abs were cut open, and I was trying to do it, and Dad was helping me with rehab. So we started doing boxing because it's for your core, and I was thinking, oh, that's pretty cool, because it was one of those things I never did, and Dad never pushed me to do anything. But like, it probably would have been cool if I did it when I was younger, because you don't like that. But we liked what we did anyway, so we did. And we were doing it. I was thinking, this is really cool. And then it got to a point where Dad was going to have to go back to China, and he even said to me, Jack, you're actually pretty good at this. Well, that's nice, thanks. I'll take that. Yeah. And he was surprised, and he said, oh, YouTube boxing's a thing. I said, yeah. Why didn't you do it? I said, no, Dad, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. And anyway, I said, I'm not really that big on YouTube, Dad. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't really do that. He said, oh, well, how about, I'll just train you anyway. And I was thinking, he's going to stay. Yeah. Lit, So I said, yeah, all right. I'll get funding so you can train me every day. And basically, I'm very lucky. I know some very cool people and big supporters, and we're great friends. And we got this funding together, and we worked out this deal where basically Dad can stay, and I've basically paid his salary for the year so that we can just train. So he lives with me Monday to Friday, and we train 2-3 times a week. And yeah, we do. It's kind of, I liked the idea of boxing because I was thinking that is the scariest thing I can imagine, getting punched in your belly. Yeah. And I thought, and it doesn't matter if I was to. The thing is, Dad's insanely good, so I'm learning from one of the best pro boxing coaches, and it's like this lost knowledge. Like, he's proper old school, and it was if he wasn't going to teach me, he wasn't going to teach anyone else. So I felt proper proud of like passing on the flame. Yeah. And we've been training, and I don't care if I have one amateur fight. and I could lose, I'd be so proud stepping in there, more so than winning the 3 world champs. Because for me, it's just like everything's on the line, and it's life and death, and it's like we did that and we came through it together. And I could lose that amateur fight, or I could, one day be against Jake Paul and win that. But it doesn't make a difference. I'd be just as proud because it's the same environment. And I think that's currently. Don't get me wrong, I've got going full steam ahead on Panna and trying to grow the community and spread the message and listen to your body and donate blood. And I feel like I've got a new purpose and I can relate to people in different ways, which I couldn't before. Because I actually know what suffering is now. Like, I didn't properly. However, the boxing idea is a lot of fun. So who knows, maybe one day you'll see that. But if I do ever box, you guys have to come watch.
Yeah, of course they'd be there.
Of course, yeah.
Even if I lose an amateur.
I'll be supporting the other guy.
You better be the other guy.
So would you fight on a YouTube card?
If the thing is, I would love to, insofar as when I'm ready, I know I'm going to be very good at boxing, which is exciting because my dad spends most of the time slating people at YouTube boxing. I can't say anything because I think, man, they're doing it. It's amazing, right? Yeah. And they're very good at a lot of things, and the level keeps going up. And Dad's saying, like, he thinks I'll be the level of a pro. I could be the level of a pro boxer soon. Like, well, not soon, but he's excited. And I'm thinking, wow. So would I love to do YouTube boxing? I would, for myself, for my dad. But I would, if I was coming in, I'd have to be knocking everyone out. If you get what I mean, like that's the athlete. Yeah. And that's exciting because you don't see that too much in YouTube boxing. No.
That's the thing. I feel like YouTube boxing is always, the bigger the creator, like the more subs and everything you have, they spend more time learning to box because it's obviously like a bigger deal for them. Yeah. Like, if
JJ facilities to train with the best and the money.
Like the JJ Joe Weller one, all the fights on that, the undercard were all YouTubers.
Yeah.
But it's like the ones who were like the first fight had they'd had like a week of boxing lessons.
That's mad.
And then because they obviously, they win, it's kind of like, oh, cool, they've won.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like do much unless they get a big knockout.
Exactly.
So I mean, if you fought and you could get a big knockout,
that's what I'd be coming in for. All I want is one shot, and I'm happy. However it goes, I'm proud. But I know I'm going in there to do something special that no one's done. Yeah. And if anyone wants to give me that shot, from like, September onwards this year, I'll be ready to. Dad says I'll be ready to do it to anyone they give me. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's big.
But we're training ridiculously hard, and it's training with the intensity of what I was in hospital, because that's what I want. And I'm saying to Dad most of the time, like, can we do more? And he's like, your body can't do that. You need to train to like that. But that's our biggest, there's always a bickering. It's bickering about how hard we're training. And the one thing is, like, life is unfair, man. Like, and I'm a positive guy, but I see it. And ever since I see it more and more, like, I mean, in George, right? George?
Yeah.
We've got a friend called George. He's a legend. George, a legend. Gorgeous George. Check him out. And basically, he's got a tumor in his brain, right? And he's 12. And he's fighting every day. And he doesn't get the credit for it insofar as, like, well, what's he meant to do? Like, but he's so inspiring to me, because when I was feeling sorry for myself, I saw that and I was like, whoa. But the point is, life's unfair, and I kind of know that. Well, who'd you take that out on? You can't. You just got to carry on going. But I like the idea that in boxing, you're against one person. In Panna, I can't be like, yo, I'm against you, and I'm going to make your life hell. However, in boxing, I know that whoever I was against, you can take that time that you're with them, and you can drag them down to what you've experienced. Yeah. And it's like, that's
it's weirdly sadistic.
I mean,
a little bit. Yeah,
it's like that's the competitive. You can, well, life's beat me up. I'm gonna beat you up to level it, because I can't fight life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of exciting as well. It's like, not that I want to hurt anyone, but it's like, that's a true battle. Then you're actually doing something, and that's what I did this whole summer, and every step since. Like learning to walk, doing this. Like, yo, they expected you just to like go to the toilet in the bed, bro. In the bed. And I was there, like, I couldn't move, and I was saying, no, like, I'm not.
Do you like a nappy or something?
No, the bed is really clever.
Like a bedpan? Or?
It's like some bed thing, and it like goes into it, and I didn't understand, but I refused. And they bring you, they wheel you this trolley thing that you sit on, and I was thinking, actually, that's all right. But to sit, I couldn't get up. And then this would take 2 hours, and I tell you, they give you a lot of laxatives. Yeah. When you're in hospital. So I've got to wait for like an hour, 2 hours for this thing to come, and I need to go. And anyway, even that, right, going to the toilet was a battle.
Yeah.
So like that's what I mean. Training now is so easy in comparison, but it's really exciting. And I also think that if someone sees me do it, I've Googled like, yo, can you box with a scar? Like, who does it? Like, safety. I know like, by that point I'll be bulletproof, but it's like no one's doing it. So I want to be like, yeah, I can do this. And why would I go into that?
Have you checked medically?
Yeah,
you can.
I have. My guy, I actually talked to the surgeon. He's convinced that I'll be able to do anything.
Okay.
And from March,
like one punch.
Yeah. No, I'll be bulletproof. Don't worry. My liver is completely sound. Like it's completely sound now. And from March, I'm allowed to like train any way I want, any weights and so on, any position. Whereas until now, I'm sticking to machines, and it's a bit safer. And I'm not gonna drop a dumbbell on my belly or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what workout you're doing.
To be fair.
So
you are the workout connoisseur, bro. Come on.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, Simon goes gym.
Yeah. Have you been keeping up to date with YouTube boxing at all?
I've been trying to. I see the Showstar doing. You got
UK v USA.
And wait, I don't want to get it wrong. Deji's against someone that I didn't know he had a funny haircut, but the other guy, Kenny, he's against FaZe.
Temper. So you got FaZe Temper versus King
cool.
Kenny, and then Deji versus Alex Wasabi.
I don't know who he is, man.
So he's a big American.
I saw he had a lot of numbers. I was like, whoa,
yes, like 13 mil, I think it is. 13 mil subs.
Jeez. Yeah.
He's been doing YouTube since 2005 or 2006.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Is he old? Or did he start when he was like 6?
Started when he was really young.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how old. He's probably like
who's
30,
the money's on Deji, surely, right?
So
come on,
I mean,
come on.
I hope and I want Deji to win.
His video was pretty good. That comeback one.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I liked it. The thing is, that last fight, is it Taylor Holders? No, that
was Gibb.
Who was he against?
Vinny Hacker.
Yeah. See, I didn't know who that guy was either, unfortunately. But
so he's a 17-year-old TikToker.
But Deji had it. It was and then it was his to lose. Like
the thing that like scares me about it. I have full faith in Deji as long as he is training.
Yeah.
Because he fought Jake Paul. Everyone goes, "Oh, you just need to be fitter."
Yeah.
Like you would have beaten him if you were fit.
Yeah.
So if that was me, I'd go, right, what do I need to do against Vinny Hacker? Be fit.
Shape. Yeah.
And he was in worse shape against Vinny Hacker.
Yeah.
So now my only thing is like,
Alex Wasabi's getting bowler.
That's the thing. Alex Wasabi he's like a very in shape guy.
But the bigger you get, sometimes the easier you flake out.
Gas out.
Yeah.
Because you're
100%.
So he can keep getting big. We want Deji to be.
I mean, that's everything. Everyone JJ fights is always like, everyone's like, oh, Joe Weller's the muscle guy. Like he's hench.
I mean,
and then Logan.
Okay, so he was proper loose when he was fighting. I mean, sometimes a bit too loose, but it was impressive though. Like there was bits where you're like, man, if you could harness that, he's really competent. But I think I liked watching Gibb because Gibb first fight he looked a bit like a crab, innit? And in the second fight, he did really sick.
Yeah,
and he was against Holder, who like the videos and stuff before. This guy was looking super slick, and Gibb was just tenacious. And I was like, that is like for me what I like in looking at YouTube boxing or any form of boxing. It's when that digging deep, and I was like, yeah, Gibb, I respect him.
Gibb, he lives it now.
That's so cool.
He's literally gone everything to the side.
And then,
well, he was anyway when he was fighting Jake. He was putting ridiculous amounts of work in, and obviously losing that, then he went to a different gear in a way.
The tactics for him, right?
Yeah.
I feel like he's very dogged in the looks of it. Like whatever you say to him, he's gonna go and do it. And I think you just
I think the Jake one is just like the night it got to him.
Oh, really?
Because he'd had the 2 fights before. He fought against Jay from TGF.
Yeah.
And Max plays FIFA. They were on the undercards for JJ's fights.
Wow. Yeah.
So he had those, and he won the first one quite easily. The one against Jay went to points, but he won, I think. And that was like a proper brawl.
That's cool.
That one was mad.
To be honest, Jay's not going to give up, is he?
Yeah. Then against Jake, it was just I think I don't know what he was doing, but
we had one of his coaches here as well. He wasn't listening properly, so he'd be the event would get to him. So instead of actually hearing what his coach was telling him, he was just
not surprised.
Going for
adrenaline. Everything.
It didn't last long anyway, did it? It was a very short time. It might have
and I think
50 seconds or whatever.
If I was, I say the crab and things like this. I don't mean to talk bad on it because if I was him, I'd be super proud. Like, I think the progression from that one difference, the fight, was unreal. And I was that was actually what made me and my dad, we started talking about YouTube boxing a bit more, because we were looking at this like, wow, they're taking it seriously. And it's like, it's not something to be like, I could actually be proud of that. You know, you can be proud of that properly. Like, and I would take that in comparison with my Panna. Like, and that's mainly because of my personal story. But like, I think it's they're doing themselves credit in the whole scene. I'm seeing Kenny and
Temper.
Yeah, I don't know of Temper too much, but I go to the same recovery place as Kenny.
Oh wow.
And I don't think I've met him properly. I haven't met him, but from what I've heard, he's taking it really seriously. And I think he's at one of the best recovery places, QR Unit in London, so he's obviously taking it seriously.
Yeah.
And it's I think I'm really excited to see how he does it, because I know he's also quite well connected. Like, there's a boxer that I know called Martin Frew, and they train together, and it's like, man, that could be exciting.
That fight, I really don't know how it's going to go. And I feel bad because I love Kenny. He's a lovely guy. Yeah. But I also do love Temper.
What's Temper like?
He's got a crazy temper.
Does it?
Maybe.
Spelt wrong, but.
Yeah.
In terms of what, as a person or like as a fighter?
Yeah, I guess both.
Well, I mean, as like so I met him through Josh, as in Zerko Josh. We know him really well because we just like us and FaZe get on really well, kind of thing. So he's such a nice guy, but I want to say it's kickboxing.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some kicking. I saw him training once.
Yeah, he's done a lot. He's been fighting for like a long time, but not boxing. It's been like other types of fighting and stuff.
So he's coming into it pretty confident.
Yeah, but that one it's one of them ones where I genuinely like both people. If you had
to pick, who do you think will win?
That's the thing. I haven't seen Kenny. I haven't seen anything of Kenny.
He's been hiding.
He feels like a hard worker, though. To be fair, I don't know much about him, but when you look at his content, he's been able to do some crazy stuff, kind of like on his own, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like obviously in the UK, it's quite a tight-knit community, and obviously Kenny's in that community. But when I was seeing him and seeing the success that he had, it's kind of like wasn't he didn't rely on KSI like we've all done. He just did his own thing and did really well on that. So it's kind of like,
shout out KSI.
If you can do that, then I'm sure you can.
And do you think he'll be training with Gib? Because that'd be interesting.
Well, I don't know if Gibbs even fighting on that card.
He tweeted it, didn't he?
He tweeted like Austin McBroom's taking too long.
Yeah.
Like get me on the card against someone else. Because it's meant to be him versus Austin McBroom as the other.
Wow, that'd have been interesting.
Which I assume would have been a co-main event or main event.
Was that always supposed to be on that card then?
I don't know.
I was not sure, because I know obviously they being Deji and Gib announced it at the same time. So that would give you the like indication that it is the same event, but for all we know, it could have been, because it wasn't then Austin saying I want to fight you in America.
Probably.
So I think that's what you were saying.
Yeah, maybe that's why it fell down.
Well, Deji said that. Sorry, he said that his is the main event.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Gib, who's just beat Taylor Holder.
Yeah.
And Austin McBroom, who was the main event of the last one and won. Surely that's the main event.
Yeah. It would have been.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Deji himself is big enough way for sure to be the main event, but then again, Deji has had. Gibbs had a lot of fights and also success.
That's what
both fought Jake Paul, but then drew, but then won his fight.
Not Jake Paul.
No, but then the Taylor Holder one, yeah. But that's good. It's interesting though. I'm excited for it. We spoke on the podcast a long time ago after the KSI fights. We were kind of saying it's kind of died off a bit now. The YouTube boxing thing is a bit boring, but it's come back. And to be fair, credit to Jake Paul. Yeah, Jake Paul has kind of like single-handedly brought it back. Yeah,
he's been doing bits.
45 mil last year.
Yeah, great.
$45 million Jake Paul earned last year.
Wow, well, fair play. I don't know anyone that can move through social media like him. He's rattling those.
Well, he's turned boxing on its head as well. Obviously, JJ did in a way as well. Everyone was saying, he's YouTube boxing,
music on it. So
yeah,
he's doing everything, man. So,
but then now, if you speak to any boxer or any fight fan, they'll all talk about Jake Paul. Yeah, whether it's in a good way or a bad way. It's just, so
if it's fake or if it's it's elusive. And I mean, man, I love Woodley, man. He was a proper athlete, and he's one of those guys where you'd feel like, man, I wouldn't mess with Woodley on the street, but everyone would mess with Jake Paul. Whereas now you're like, he's demanding a bit more, and I'm convinced the last fight Woodley was winning. He was obviously very, very tired, but to be in that position where Jake Paul was up against it, I'm sure he could feel it, and then to get that moment,
it was big, man.
That's unreal.
Because you do go into it thinking like these are fighters, you know, like you said, you'd never mess with someone like, you know, Tyron. Yeah. You'd never do it. You think they're like, you know, elite, and obviously they are. But it's, you know, for Jake Paul to knock that person out, he must have been doing something, you know, working hard.
And it's obviously he had a bit of size, but that size was matched with strength. And Matt, he did well because Woodley was taking it seriously. Yeah. Obviously, you put him in the octagon, and
of course.
But it doesn't matter because they both signed it for the ring.
Yeah,
I think it's amazing. Like he's really transcending it, and then as long as he keeps the knockouts going, it'll keep being entertaining, isn't it? Because that's the one thing when you're getting everyone now wants to fight each other, but I've heard like rappers in the mix for having these fights. Yeah, and it's like, man, you got to be careful because if you're a big rapper and you've got the cred, and then you're hitting someone like this, and you both get tired. I mean, there was a really weird one I saw. I didn't even think it was real. It was like a fever dream. Yeah, it was like Blueface. Is that a rapper?
Yeah,
fighting this TikTok guy.
Yeah,
and it was like, what is going on? Like, and it was in like a circle. And anyway, that
yeah.
I'm glad you know about it because I didn't know if I'd made it up.
I'm trying to think who he fought. I seem to.
Yeah. He got famous because on TikTok he copied everyone else's TikToks, and then. Some of them did make me laugh though, but I guess they're not many because he's.
Just Google it, you'll find it, I'm sure.
Blueface fight, and you'll find it.
Yeah.
Find it. It was so weird. That doesn't mean anything, man. Just show us.
Let's see a picture.
Yeah, look at this weird ring.
That's not his username though. Oh no, it is. Yeah. No, you type his name into TikTok to find out what his name is on TikTok. Because he still everyone's content.
It was so weird because it wasn't like boxing. It was boxing, but
it was odd
in this weird circle.
Yeah, and I was thinking, big up. I'm pretty sure Blueface won, really? But
you got points? No, I've got something in my eye for the last 5 minutes. I can't get it out.
It might have been points, or it might have got stopped right at the end. I can't remember. But I was thinking, don't get me wrong, I'm glad you won, Blueface, but I'd have hoped you'd have just came in and.
That's the one, yeah. He just stole everyone's content, didn't he? It was so funny because they would post a massive TikTok and he would just copy every single one.
Yeah.
And then when he got called out, and he was like, "Well, I'm doing it, but I'm doing it better." It's like, well, yeah, but anyway, yeah. I think boxing is crazy, really. Because
imagine that he stole people's TikToks.
Yeah.
And then he had the chance to like KO Blueface.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane. What other thing? Do you look at him?
Yeah,
he's proper up for it.
Kids, if you're watching, just keep stealing them. Maybe you'll be able to fight a rapper.
Fight KSI one day.
Yeah. But I think boxing it's a good sport to do these kind of like YouTube, TikTok type of things because end of the day you are just fighting someone else. You know, it's just you two in the ring. You know, it's so you know when the fight's on, it's on. You can't hide behind anything. As you said, you know, you're going from like a cool rapper to, you know, poor technique. It's embarrassing, so it can be quite humbling.
And there's a reality in it and a truth, and I think lots of people won't admire the guts to get in there and things like this, but like when you get past that, it's like I think it's an achievement for everyone.
Well, that's why it's like fair enough to Deji to keep going because he just keeps losing, but he's still going. He's still got that desire.
Exactly.
You just hope that one time he does use that desire to actually win a fight.
For the moment.
Yeah.
And I think that's what after my injury I realised. I came to the conclusion that I want one night. You know, like if you look at Muhammad Ali versus George Foreman, that was one night where you know what Muhammad Ali was about. You know, he was innovative for his time. He dug deep and Ronaldo, you know, scoring a hat trick against Atletico Madrid. You know what he's about. And I think it's like it'd be amazing to have a snapshot where you're like, in my head it's me and I'm there and my dad's there in the background and then you know everyone is there watching, like, you know, my girlfriend, my family there.
Yeah.
And that for me is like, that's it. That's the moment. Like, you know what I was about. Even, and you know, I've got a foot-long scar on my belly, and you're like, it doesn't matter if I won or lost. That is something I'm
overcoming
proud of.
That, yeah.
And I think that's everyone in there. Deji's got his own reason, and it will be. I think it's something to do with like that one night.
Yeah.
And when you're looking at the pandemic and what, you know, kids must have been going through at the moment, and all the clubs are cancelled, everything, like, hard to choose who you want to be. And this one night, when you're in boxing, you're in the real world. You know, you're not on a game. You're not in the metaverse. Like, you are painfully there. And I think there's something, I think it's super inspiring that they're showing that it doesn't matter what you were doing, you can come out and do this. Just whatever it is, put your mind to it. And I think that's why I've got to give it all a go, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But that's what I never understand. There's so many people that.
Yeah. Hustle harder.
50 was a boxer, you know. He was a boxer.
Bro, I have to meet him one day.
Yeah.
Have you met him?
Nah.
Come on, man.
No, I would love to meet him.
Big dog, man. Go over there. Tell him 50.
Yeah.
I'm in your town.
I have to buy a feature of him one day and pretend I actually know him.
Oh, if you do, please just let
do
me
one of them
be on
mashup
set.
videos.
Yeah,
mashup music videos where it's from his old videos. And then you put into it.
CGI over it. Please do.
That would be sick. That would be sick. Yeah.
Or one day when I'm about to, massive YouTube boxer, I'll pay you 50 to walk out.
Yeah. When you get him as your ring walk, I'll join you. Please.
Your song together.
Yeah. I've bootleg songs.
He presents one of the boxing things in America.
You know he does. Yeah, he does.
What's that one? Was it Triller?
I can't remember.
I think it's Triller. I'll go get signed to Triller quickly.
I think
Triller. Sign us up. 50 can commentate on these knockouts.
Come on. I think he and Floyd were going to have like a promotion together or something, but then they kept falling out. With the Harry Potter stuff.
Speaking of
one read one book.
Yeah.
Just because you mentioned Mayweather.
Yeah.
He's fighting.
He's fighting.
Money Kicks? Yes. He's fighting Money Kicks.
Is that
who's
the kid
Money
that
Kicks?
gives shoes? No.
Money Kicks is a YouTuber from Dubai?
He must have a lot of money.
From Dubai, right? But it's so just like Money Kicks had a fight, I believe. So I'm not clued up on the situation. Money Kicks had a fight. He had a fight a while ago.
Was it meant to be on top of one of the buildings?
Yeah, I think it's on the hotel. The Burj Al Arab has the helipad.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, I thought every building in Dubai had a helipad.
No, but the one that's like there's
a cool.
It literally is over just nothing kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
sure.
it kind of does this, and then it kind of does that, and that's the helipad, and there's nothing underneath it.
On that?
Yeah, so like Will Smith did like yoga on it.
Oh yeah,
like
that's
that.
cool.
And you can
Big
pay
up,
to have
Will.
dinner on it.
Wow,
So
I can't pay to have
I was gonna say, I think it's like 5 or 10 or 15 grand or something like that. Just hire this helipad.
Is that with the food on that?
I don't know.
That's for the pleasure to sit there.
Yeah, just sit outside.
That's just a date.
Probably well windy as well up there.
But yeah, he had a what?
I just realised Money Kicks is that little kid from Mo Vlogs.
Put it on.
Well,
put it
Money
on.
Kicks.
Yeah,
Put it on.
man, I don't
We
know.
Bro,
can't
you keep looking at it.
Show us,
man.
man.
This kid is now fighting Floyd Mayweather.
We can't see.
Bro.
This kid is now.
Yeah, that's who I thought it was.
So Money Kicks had a fight. He had a fight recently, and can you find out Money Kicks' last fight?
Yeah.
I think he had a fight last time, and I think it went to points, and he won.
Yeah, no,
Well,
money. Was it like that?
well, as in we watched it, and it was like I think he.
Oh, this was a meme, wasn't it? It was like a lot that came.
Adam.
Oh,
Sandler.
it might have been this one where he drew. Wait,
you
has
know
this
who
already
Adam-
happened, or has this happened?
I think this happened.
This happened. I think it got a draw or something, and it was like he actually won.
Oh, really?
No, I think he won, but it was given as a draw.
Money
Right.
Kicks won.
Yeah. Well, anyone who watched it would have said he won.
And
I
who
think
was-
I'm trying to remember this. It was a while ago, and I didn't care that much.
Who's Adam Sandler?
Well, he's like a YouTuber, but he actually has a background in boxing. But I think
wow.
he's trash.
So Money Kicks did it
Apparently
right.
he's trash. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Adam Saller's the one that's been calling out like JJ and Gibb and everyone basically being like, "Yeah, fight me," and everyone's going like,
Nah.
"There's no real point in fighting you."
Well, especially he fought right and he lost, didn't he?
Adam Saller.
Yeah.
He fought someone else, I think. Yeah, in like York Hall or something.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
Yo, you're cool, yeah.
He was beefing with Kenny. He's quite long. Is he long? He's got.
No, that was probably Slim.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah.
he's
That's
long,
so
not
they're
long,
best
didn't-
mates. So
Slim
they're
fight?
best mates.
Oh, right, okay. I have no idea. I'm out of the loop.
So this was Money Kicks. Oh no! So this was the other guy. This was who's he fighting here?
That's not Adam Sandler.
No.
Anazao.
Shayeb.
Yeah, so that guy.
Nice pronunciation.
So that's
Better
the
than
guy.
his
I
Scottish
think.
accent.
Yeah.
I think that guy should have won.
Go-
If
oh.
he-
it's
fight Adam
if
Sandler
I'm what
then.
I'm thinking, that guy on the right should have won. But I
Oh,
know
okay.
it doesn't look like it right now.
Whoa, whoa.
But now he is now fighting Floyd Mayweather.
On the 20th of February in Dubai.
Mad.
So, what weird.
Well, yeah, it's just
How weird is
Yo,
that?
sometimes I think when I came out of that coma, I came out to the wrong place. You
know,
know,
like,
yeah.
no way.
You sure you're not still in it?
Well, I don't know.
It's more likely that
50
50's here.
Oh, bro, I wish I was in that with you. But no, I think it's just Floyd. That's like a proper exhibition, isn't it? I know Logan was.
Well, the thing is about Logan was like,
At least
okay,
he was big.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what I mean,
It's
like,
still like
you watch Logan v JJ and you're like, okay, Logan's not horrendous.
Yeah.
In terms of like professional level, he's not stupidly bad.
Yeah.
He's not professional.
Yeah,
but he's not stupidly bad, and he's so much taller, so much heavier.
Yeah, and
it's an interesting fight.
And Floyd's, he's stopped.
Well,
so
yeah,
like, what will? And it's also it's a challenge, and you're thinking, what will Floyd do? Will he just try and dismantle him?
Yeah.
Or will he just get his money? And that's kind of the debate.
But this one,
apparently Logan has not got paid yet either, so maybe he didn't get his money.
True.
That's what they're saying.
I heard it's because of the hat.
Really?
No.
Oh.
I heard it was because of DN.
got me there.
Huh?
I thought it was because DN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was because of DN.
Yeah, true.
I'm not going to ask because I don't want to get got again.
Yeah, you don't get got. What I was going to say
He
was
was going to say D's nuts if you said DN.
No way.
Yeah, I was gonna get Simon. The clout as well gives you a lot of like credibility. It makes you, if you've got clout like Logan has, it makes you think that he's better than he is. Not in Logan's case, but it helps. Same when when obviously JJ was fighting Joe. Like we were, Joe in the end wasn't that great on the night. JJ did really well, but before that,
Joe was looking good.
He was looking good. I'm not sure that was just the marketing or that was like
him screaming on a bike.
That scared the living daylight out of me.
He uploaded a video of him like working out. Like a standard boxing workout video. Like
start screaming.
Well, it's easy to make a video where you look good at boxing.
Yeah.
So he does that, and it ends with him on an exercise bike, and he's going like that, and everyone went, "Oh my god!" Like JJ's fucked. Like, everyone's like, "Joe looks massive," and look at his
him on
aggression.
That bike.
Yeah. And remember,
Chris Hoy's here.
JJ's always been like a relative. Well, he's always had a good build. He's not been unfit. Maybe he would say for his standards he has, but obviously at the time you compare JJ to Joe Welly, it's different levels.
At that time, JJ definitely wasn't like fit.
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it wasn't like he was like not unfit, but he wasn't fit for a fight.
Yeah.
Whereas Joe, compared to Joe was like fully in that life, And
then JJ just went.
Oh yeah.
As soon as they had that press conference, and Joe kind of mugged off JJ a little bit. JJ just went like, "Nah,
serious.
I'm done."
That
was running every day.
I saw a clip of that the other day for some reason from the back of it. I'm not sure where it was on what video I saw. Maybe but I was laughing at how insignificant it felt from the back of the room. Like on the camera, it's a big event and it's live streamed to like tens of thousands of people. And then you look at the footage from this guy in the back of the room, and you've got his like 12-year-old or like 15-year-olds like, "Oh, fuck him up!" You're like, wow, that felt so different in on
the live stream,
the atmosphere,
Joe barges him, so then JJ kind of runs forward, a bodyguard jumps on JJ. JJ throws the bodyguard.
I've seen that actually.
Then another one grabs him, and he pushes,
and all the 12-year-olds
over.
You've got FIFA, and then FIFA monsters just there.
Yeah, you look at it from the back of the room, and there's like 20 kids that stand up a little bit and kind of go like, "Oh, go on. Fuck him up."
Yeah. That felt like a press conference, but it was in a way, but it was just upload, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like a gaming event.
Yeah, but before you've got like Smallish Beans doing a Minecraft stuff.
Yeah, it was literally that was a panel room.
After as well.
It was a panel room, so it was literally before it was like, John on how to use a camera.
I would attend.
So there would be one person.
I need it for my YouTube.
Yeah. That's fun, man. But no, it's fun. Like I think YouTube is just all the sports. Saying that Panna as well. It's just giving like a new angle to stuff that you wouldn't always find out about. Obviously, boxing's big. We know about that, but we're not necessarily with YouTubers taking part. So it's interesting.
It's true.
The YouTube Panna tournament. That's the next thing.
Hey, that's what I wanted. I think we'll get training quick.
Yeah.
Get you back at your old football club on the BT.
You should do stuff like say if you do the charity match, you should do like mini games and stuff.
Well, the thing is, right, so our charity matches, we've always gone with the precedent of no freestylers, because basically they're all too good.
Well, also at the time as well.
The reason it came
F2,
up was because we did the very first Wembley Cup, and F2 were on the other team. We had Dan Cutting. And it was just basically Dan Cutting versus F2. We lost like 5-2. F2 scored and assisted every goal. I think like Rossi got one, which was they are pass across.
They are good at football.
And Dan Cutting got ours.
Big up,
and that was it.
Legend.
And we literally just said like, there's as much as people want to see them, and they are good and they're nice guys. A YouTube football event doesn't. It's not a football.
Yeah,
you're not going to see.
You're not known for playing football either.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So you want to see what they've got.
Like Vicstar is rendered completely useless. When you have F2 on the pitch.
It's true.
So however, you need them to be a little bit worse, so Vic can at least have a chance.
No, exactly. Yeah, that makes sense. And it's always a shame when I mean, it was like this one that I was doing, the charity one. There was some good players in it, but I knew that I didn't have to try too hard. But if I went in there slide tackling everyone, it's besides the point. I was just like, I'll just do a nutmeg and pass it. Like that's what
I'd be so down to get like some freestylers. I'm calling you a freestyler here. That's like a Panna freestyler.
Yeah, it would do.
Like I'd be so down to get a couple to play for like a little bit. But go for what you're known for, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you're on the pitch, just embarrass whoever you're against.
The thing is, I can't even. My left foot is non-existent, and a long ball doesn't exist. And I don't shoot anyway, so actually, there's nothing more I can do.
So well, that's what I mean. Like I think
just put me, you know, at left mid and have Vicstar right back. And we'll have a great time. Us two, like that's what I was.
Well, that's what, like, to me, when I saw F2 playing, like I like them. They've never been horrible to me. I know everyone there is a bad opinion, but they played and it was kind of like they'd get the ball and they know no one else there is like an athlete, so they would kind of just kick it and run.
The F2 in their depiction is they kind of had to do that.
Yeah,
you know, like the F2, the kids are like the F2. If they don't score the goals.
Yeah, no, I do get that.
Whereas like it depends on how you set it up. For me, and I talk on behalf of some other freestylers like DC and so on. I mean, DC, he's changed his opinion on charity matches, but I in a way. But I think like as long as I nutmeg someone, like,
but that's the thing.
Have a laugh, like, because the whole point was I've never said I'm actually good at football. Like I could be all right if I really tried, but I'm good at Panna, and this isn't Panna. So it's I think F2 is a harsh one because they had to play good. I think.
Yeah.
No, I don't blame them for it.
Yeah, but I get
just
what you mean. The
why
dynamic
it
is
stopped us.
harsh. Yeah.
I guess it might be different now in a sense because there's so many. Well, there are so many better players around now, isn't there? So you could probably pad your team out a little bit. You know, so
but then it becomes a game of ringers.
Yeah, it's true.
I played F2 FC for Tango Square FC, and I got some friends in F2 FC, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be against him. Yo, I was against Brad Adoy, Cal's brother, and Brad in his day arguably was like he was insane, and he's only just retired, and now he's massive and in shape. And I had a pulled quad, and I was right back, and I was looking at him, and I said to Cal, I said, please, bro, have mercy. He had no mercy. I was running Old Trafford. I've never ran that far in my life. It was as wide as it is long. And he was elasticoing me, and it was just like, oh, this is a long day. Like, and that wasn't fun because it wasn't who we were against. So I completely get what you mean. And it's, I watch, you know, I'd watch your matches because I want to see you lot do things.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to watch your best mate who happens to be like a pro footballer do something.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's not who has the best friends. Like,
that's the thing. We always get asked by people who are like, they're kind of like, oh yeah, get me in. I'd score like 10 goals, and I'm like, well, that's not the point.
Yeah,
like, good for you. Like,
that's why I don't
want to score.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
like the best bits of. Like the ones you remember are like, you know, Vic scoring a penalty,
amazing.
Deji missing an open goal and throwing his goggles, throwing goggles in a match.
It's so good.
Seeing Keemstar run, like things like that.
I saw a clip of on TikTok of Nepenthes like skinning someone.
Yeah, Toby.
Oh, is it Toby?
Yeah, he gets past the ball from the keeper. Toby sprints in here and he just Cruyff turns.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
But it's literally like. It is, welcome to Brixton.
Yeah. But then everyone was saying like,
edit.
man took 30 steps to move 5 yards because he beats him and he just like runs.
Yeah,
so
we got that
so
clip
slow.
up. Just type in Nepenthes.
Oh, I just got
Nepenthes Toby.
Can you tell?
Look at Keem, like
that's dry.
Fast as fuck, boy. Oh, the Will and E tackle on Rice Gum.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Yeah, Nepenthes Toby. Like even things like this. If this is a real match, but no one's even taking note of this.
No, but it's just fun, isn't it? You know.
It's cool.
Well, also I know it's not the Sidemen match, but what's the picture of Bateson in the Barcelona kit? Like when he played it.
It was me and Toby, Manny, Bateson went over. We played it. Yeah, we played the Camp Nou.
Oh,
but every time that anyone every time Barcelona are losing, that picture just goes viral. Everyone's always like being Bateson on it. Just those moments are what make the games.
The Wembley one where Bateson starts running, has to pull his shorts up as well. Like, things like that. Like those moments are so good.
That's what make the charity matches what they are.
Yeah, I agree. It's not about the crazy goal or something.
Nepenthes.
Put football.
Toby football.
Toby's reported every video. He's reported every one of them.
Taking them all down. Surely.
He's techie though.
Who, Toby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's techie. So
he's really good.
You kind of don't need many more techie people either. Do you know what I mean? And you're scoring from the halfway line.
Yeah.
It's Calix
should be mentioned.
Calix in goal,
and that was fake.
Shut up. We get asked that all the time. Was it fake? How? The ball was on a string.
Yeah, CGI did.
Well, that's all right. For those who
find that,
for those who are interested, Nepenthe skins absolutely destroys Toby.
That's beautiful.
And then runs really far, really fast,
really fast.
I'm not gonna lie. I've kind of run out of topics.
I think we've done well.
Yeah,
we've
good
done
podcast.
Well. We've gone from life and death to
it's a crazy story, but it's good that you're using it in a positive way.
That's the aim. That's why it was. Yeah, I mean, I guess the main thing is thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to share it, and I think that's kind of the crux of it. Is if anyone out there, because we're talking charity matches, everyone's going to be amazing tackles and stuff. It's just about making sure you're still safe. Really.
Well, I would say in charity matches, number one, it's not a pro match, so you don't have the medical staff there. Like, you got to remember, football is such an intense game. We take the injuries for granted. Like we hear someone's tore their ACL, they're out for 6 months. We focus on them being out for 6 months, but you forget that actually they've hurt themselves. They're actually in.
JMX popped his shoulder out, and it took like 4 minutes for anyone to get to him.
Yeah, that kills.
Whereas in a game, obviously, not to in a game over like Premier League, that'd be sort of straight away. Wouldn't it? You've got the Christian Eriksen incidents and stuff.
On my one, there wasn't even a physio.
Yeah,
I'd asked for an ice pack. I couldn't even get an ice pack.
Yeah,
mad.
So
hopefully this would help those things.
Yeah,
Hopefully people start, maybe
sure
put a bit of the budget. It's for a charity game, but put a bit of the budget for the charity in, for the safety of the game.
Promote the charity, though,
yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
And I think if you ever want to add something to giving blood on your charity, that would save a lot of people, because that's the difference. Is like, don't get me wrong, all charities are amazing and they're all pro good things, but giving blood saves 8 people, every person does it. And the conversion rate on that is like, I know lots of people that gave blood before, but they didn't even talk to me about it. And it's when you talk about giving blood that everyone starts giving blood, because it wasn't that bad. I just took 2 minutes and I went and did it. They gave me a biscuit. Sick.
Well, especially now, now everyone's done the COVID jab. Like everyone's had that kind of like.
More
I know,
used to it.
It's a bit of a similar thing. I think my mum's got like the blood where it goes for everyone. Where you can, wow. She's always proud of that.
That's really cool.
O negative or something like that.
Yeah,
and
I'm not sure if that's
it. There's like
something like that.
There's a lot of like certain platelets are needed, and there's a lot of plasma, and there's loads of different types. And I was like, I didn't know until I got given them all. And you're like,
cheers, man.
Crazy.
Yeah,
so
thanks for that.
I think and I can't give blood now either, because I've had so much for transfusion. I can't. So that's kind of like, okay, I need to get people giving blood.
Yeah.
But it's it's amazing, and I think. I mean, that's a kind of somber note to end. But the point is, you can actually make a difference, and that's really exciting.
Yeah.
And of course, anyone that wants to start Panna, hit us up till Tuesdays. Every Tuesday, you can learn. Simon's learning,
following his footsteps.
In 1 month,
soon, hopefully.
If Simon can be good, you can be good too.
Simon, in 1 month, will go through the. Don't take that, man.
You got rejected by the A team.
No, that's too good for him.
No, they just disbanded. But 1 month you could do the pre-qualifiers.
Yeah. No, it's good. Thanks for coming on as well. It's been great. I mean, last week we had Talia.
That's peak. Like, what the hell? Wow.
I wasn't involved in that.
Wow. It's just banter.
Well, as we said, check out Jack in the description down below, and check out all the links that are down there as well.
Sick.
Yeah, thank you guys for
like,
watching.
comment, subscribe, all that jazz.
Yeah.
Hit the bell, man.
Yeah,
come on,
hit the bell.
YouTube still.
It's been going well. The subscribers have been growing.
Yeah.
Hey, get to a mil. Get there.
We're trying.
Do it,
so
man.
hard.
Just do it. Like,
We're really trying. Also, shout out Philly. He hit a mil today.
Oh, big
that's
on
sick.
YouTube.
Well,
Yeah.
we need to get him
Big
on.
up.
Just get,
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching, and peace.
Peace.
Edge.